Hi, Dylan Dunn from Tiffin, Ohio, fighting out of flight kickbox and fighting for my grandfather. Support your fighters, make a difference, and donate today. Come watch us fight, June 14th at Mission Ballroom.
Good afternoon, race fans. My name is Adam Thursby. Welcome back for round 3 of season 6 of Box3 Motorsports. And joining me after his fantastic run last week, all by himself, Mr. Phil Milwee. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I am doing fantastic. Had a great weekend. Can't complain. Back this weekend for some racing, which I missed out on last week, but it seems like you guys had a great race, had a great time at Laguna Seca. We're going to talk a little bit about that here in just a minute. But I just wanted to say again, thank you for your help last week in covering the race and letting me take that day for the long weekend here and get some time in with my wife and my family, and it was all good. So thank you again, sir. Much appreciated.
Oh, it was awesome. Glad you got to go take some time off, touch some grass.
A little bit, yeah. We did so again this weekend too. So lots and lots of fun to be had, and of course, nice hot weather all week, and then the weekend comes, and what happens? Right back down into the 60s instead of staying up in the 90s where it was, and where I love to have it. So good day to spend inside. Yeah, love it. Oh yeah, I'll take it every day.
Disagree.
Fantastic weather. But no, it's cold now, so might as well. Got the hoodie back on. We'll get back down here in the basement and watch some racing today. So let's see what we got going on. Before we get over to the practice session, though, let's talk a little bit about where we stand for this season. First race up today, Am and Pro-Am drivers will be out. Bruce Hopkins, double wins to secure 101 points for first place thus far. Michael Zwanenberg in second with 2 third-place finishes, podiums both weeks, and Chris Finlay finishing 4th and 2nd respectively to garner 96 points. Jester Flume, Adrian Banache round out the top 5. Now, Phil, the one question I have here for you in this class, and maybe we'll see this. I haven't even looked at the other classes so far today to see what's going on. Are you surprised to see the 296 in 1, 2, 3?
No. I think even with the current debuff that we got in the latest round of the 1.9 patches to come out, I think nerfing the top end of the car isn't necessarily where the 296 is suited.
Okay.
It's not a straight line speed. It's not a bullet in a straight line. But what it is it's got a really good aero package, and from a mechanical grip perspective, it's got really good compliance with tracks that have aggressive curbing and stuff like that. That's why it was pretty strong around Laguna, even post nerf.
Okay.
I suspect around Kyalami it will also be strong, because I feel like that middle sector is gonna benefit it a little bit. Of course, it doesn't matter how compliant your car is, you nail the curb at Cheetah and you're effectively a passenger at that point.
Gotcha.
You booked a ticket and you didn't even know you were flying. But yeah, the 296 123 I'm not shocked about. The strength of the Porsche, though, I feel like we could see it start to have a bit of a resurgence.
Okay, now you're talking about the 992, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, and we do have one of those in the top 5, Jester Flume. The next one for the Porsche all the way down P9 right now, Frank Reynolds, who I don't believe is allowed to qualify today. I think.
Might be the first quali ban of the season.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. I don't know I'm not going to take time now to go look and find it, but I'm pretty sure it might be the first quali ban of the season with our new penalty point system. Let's talk about Pro-Am and see if we see something similar here as we get over to Pro-Am. Now, here we do see the Porsche a little stronger, right? Ivan Solotarov in the Porsche, along with Steven Tomazik in P3. Adam Willey sitting in second right now in that 296 with a McLaren, the only McLaren, I believe, racing this season, and another Ferrari rounding out the top 5, Edward Walsh and Bob Charlton. What's the other part of this I want to talk about is the points. 97, 95, 93, 90, we got a tie for third right now, 89, 88 across the top 6 there with Steve, if we include Steven Music. And we saw the same thing if we go back to the AM class. The points are tight.
Yeah. It's a very tight season.
This is really a tight season. So,
Yeah, it's
I think
shaping
it's
up
great.
to be.
I think
Yeah, it's shaping
great.
up to be a real good season. Like I've been extremely impressed with how competitive the races have been pretty much for 90% of the race distance, even
Okay.
in the endurance formats. It has been wild how and I think you've commented on it in the couple rounds that we've gotten to commentate together, that the racing action has been pretty much almost to the end.
Yeah.
And that is not something you see a lot
It's not.
in amateur sim racing. You brought up Zolotarov, and I wanted to mention that his performance at Laguna was just unreal. So I'm kind of interested to see if he can kind of get a bit of a repeat here at Kyalami, a track that does suit the Porsche historically.
Okay.
Porsche usually really strong at any Intercontinental GT track, so we'll see. We got this newcomer here, Corey Hampshire in the AMG, which got a global power buff in the latest round of patches. The 24 Mercedes AMG currently 0.6 off Zolotarev's pace.
Wow.
But in front of Bob Charlton and Chris Finlay right now. So Chris Finlay actually top of the AM leaderboards right now in practice, followed by Michael Zwanenberg. I'm really interested to see how that shakes out.
Yeah, no, I think this is going to be a great race. We are night racing at Kyalami, so a little bit different. Now, I find the night races I think we get along there kind of the same way as when there's a rain race, right? Everybody kind of calms down for a minute. Nobody wants to, I don't think we see the hammer down into T1 and T2 like you do during a normal dry day race.
Yeah. So. Yeah, it is. It's going to need to be conservative, especially into turn one here. Going into Crowthorne right off the bat, really large corner entry, kind of a textbook corner for Kyalami. Massive corner entry. You could land a 747 on corner entry. However, you can fit a golf cart on corner exit. So it's going to be very key for drivers to really play it safe. It's not uncommon to see 4 wide into turn one and then wind up with 2 cars that end up off the track. So
yeah,
we'll see how that shakes out.
Yeah, this is going to be a good one, I think. Like I said, I missed last week. I'm ready to be back to check this out. So 142.2 for Zolotarov around Kyalami here during the free practice. Are we going to see faster in this class? We always talk about the pros and silvers later, but I think, is that what we're looking for here?
I think 42s are going to be like the top end of this split. Let me actually jump up. I want to take a look at Apex and see what the current running for the 1.9 era in Kyalami is. Give me one moment and I'll have that information for you. But yeah, I'm really interested to see what kind of times we see, because man, Pro-Am and Am in particular have been really surprising me a lot. Been developing some really solid pace, really strong folks in this field.
Yeah.
So I'm very interested to see how this race shakes out. We are in max wait time now.
Yep, should be closing it down here. And there's the newcomer, as you said, Corey Hampshire.
So if I'm looking at the top 100, 1.9 era. Actually, let me go ahead and get the 1.9.3, which is the most recent pop.
Wow, Chief Blaze returning. Sorry, I'm just looking at the list here of our drivers. Chief Blaze returning this week after missing the first 2 rounds this season. Yeah. Go ahead, sir. So sorry about that.
It looks like 42s, mid 42s are like the cutoff for the top 100 in 1.9.3 on the Apex leaderboards. So I'm interested to see that's solid quality pace from Zolotarev.
Yeah. And
Hepburn getting 0.3 off it's looking promising. So I'm really excited for this quali. I think Pro-Am is going to be really fun to watch. We've got a bit of a gap, a bit of a chasm between Zwanenberg and Collins in the 17 AMG. So in the AM class, probably got Finlay and Zwanenberg kind of running their own race right now, but we'll find out.
Yeah, there is a gap there, but the top 6 before that flipped over on us. The top 6 were all in the 142s.
Yeah.
So I mean, really puts it in a good place to have a lot of good driving up front as Zwanenberg heads out immediately to get qualification going. Now, as you can see, the AM drivers will, if we're continuing with split, and yeah, it's 20-minute qual, so continuing with the tradition we started this season, you're going to see the AM drivers out first. They will set their quali times afterwards for the first 10 minutes, and then the Pro-Ams will hit the track for the last 10 minutes of this. I'm trying to see that. I'm trying to see what you had up last week. Session best relative, maybe. You brought it up at one point last week during the qual. I got a chance to watch for a little bit.
Yeah,
where
personal best.
Was it just personal best in quali? Because what it showed. Best, yep. Okay.
Which they don't have times right now, so you're not going to get not going to get anything right now.
But I wondered because you had basically that for the fastest driver, it showed their time, and then it showed the delta back to everyone else.
Oh yeah, here I'll pull that up
which one
real quick on my end. Give me 1 second. So if I go over.
While Phil takes a look there, guys, just remember this is a sprint race this week. This race will be 45 minutes for AM and Pro-Am, and 1 hour for our Pro and Silver drivers, which we will switch to directly after this race.
Session best relative.
Okay.
Give that one a shot.
Perfect.
So we'll see what that looks like when folks come across the line for that. In the meantime, I'm just gonna kind of focus down in on the pit wall data and
dig it up for us
and see what we're looking at in terms of these times, because I'm really looking forward to seeing what these guys can do.
All right, so let's bring Zwanenberg up here. We'll keep an eye on Zwanenberg as he starts his first flying lap.
Yeah.
Do me a favor too, Phil. Don't let me forget to restart pit wall when we go to the other race like I did 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. if you want, so in pit link right now, if you pull it up, if you click the button that says auto disconnect, there's a little check button or a little switch. If you flip that auto disconnect off, it'll automatically restart when you load into the next session.
Oh, perfect.
What I would recommend for you for the second race though is switch it off. That way, if people want to come back and look at the data, they can. It'll stay up. The data will stay up until you run the next time.
Oh, really? Okay.
Which is a super cool feature for people if they want to go back and look and see how they were doing. Just to look and see how they were doing effectively.
Well, I will leave that off then. And as always, folks, if you want live timing, !pit wall in the chat, we'll get you the link to the live timing feed for this race and every race during the course of the season. Phil, at some point, we're going to have to bring your screen up. Not today necessarily. I don't have that set up, but we have to bring your screen up so you can kind of show people what you're looking at via pit wall when you're in there. Yeah. And all the data you're pulling.
Yeah, it is my instrument of choice when it comes to even watching racing in ACC. I have a bit of a habit of watching like SRO esports feeds and stuff like that, and just tuning into the pit wall data just to watch it and see what people are doing. Gotcha.
Yep. Well, Michael Zwanenberg set the first flying lap, a 1:43.2. We know we're going to see faster than that during the course of this qualifying, but that's where he's landed so far. Once again, in the Ferrari, David Collins, half a second off pace. Josh Rulin, 1.2. We'll wait for these things to start tightening up. We check in on with Josh Butler in the Porsche.
So just looking right now. So Collins pumping in a 44.0. Hopkins with a 44.9, hoping to see if he can put a little bit more pace in that car, because Hopkins has been a pretty consistent driver. Had a bit of a tangle at Laguna, but it looks like with the penalties and stuff like that, it looked like it didn't harm his result. But Laguna was a bit that was a spicy meatball in terms of a race. But Hopkins usually really strong, super consistent, kind of waiting to see what he can do here at at Kyalami. John Rulin, newly signed Yitcow Racing Lamborghini entry in the 318, posting of 44.7. Gonna have to try and get a little bit more time to see if he can catch up to Bruce Hopkins.
Bruce Hopkins right now showing purple on the screen. It's flipping back and forth between Zwanenberg and Hopkins, but Hopkins just scrubbed about 0.6 of a second off his fastest, or I'm sorry, off where he was, and going to finish out about 6 or 7 tenths faster. Zwanenberg down now to a 4.3395.
Yeah, if I'm looking, I want to switch over to ACC. I think I have enough on the other PC to be able to see the timetables for free practice. But so yeah, Zwanenberg 43.1 was what he was looking at in free practice. So he's already getting close to that. To that number. We got 22 degrees on track, even for nighttime around here. That's warm for a night race. So there should be no complaints from any driver about track conditions. I mean, driving around a dark track like Kyalami is challenging, don't get me wrong, but the temperature and the track conditions probably could not be better for a night race right now. So no excuses. Pump in a fast one.
Oh, they'll have one. They'll have one. Don't worry. Josh Butler now showing purple, 1.2 seconds up on his fastest of a 144.4. That may get him showing us the first 142 of this qual session. He can hold on. Butler putting that Porsche to work today. The number 881. Fanta. The Phantomobile.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
heard
the
liveries were so good.
I did hear Laguna was a little spicy. I understand that Mr. Anthony Anderson had a little pit trouble, and then that I do know, talking to him on Thursday, he attempted to blame that on you. So,
I mean, here's the thing: he can blame me all he wants to. It ain't gonna make it any more my responsibility.
Doesn't fix his pit stop, does it?
Nope. Sure don't. Sure don't.
Josh Butler now takes up the pole position with a 143.062, just missing out on that 142. But Chris Finlay now about 9 tenths up on his fastest, and there is our first 142 of the day, just barely, but he did make it with a 142.907. So Finlay really laying it down too. Yeah,
Finlay is pretty quick in the 296. Really interested to see what times he can post up. Again, 296 around here. We're getting a preview of what the latest patch actually did to like slow down the 296. My hot take, not that much.
Yeah.
I just don't think that nerfing the top speed of the 296, not unless they built a sail on the back to slow it down, is really going to do much to slow this car down. It's all about its mechanical grip that makes it a very strong machine.
Okay. Oh, Bruce Hopkins, that looked like a scrub lap there, a little far outside.
Yep. And that's sector 2 at Kyalami, 100%. Like sector 2 Kyalami, very technical section. And again, Kyalami's one of those like old school kind of GT circuits in that it has some areas of the track that have minimal forgiveness when it comes to runoff area, and it's it happens to be in the most technical portion of the track where you get these sections of track where you might have like a very small amount of kitty litter followed by some grass or a huge sand trap. So it's definitely one of those that's a unforgiving one.
Bruce Hopkins now getting himself into the 142s. So a little bit of a toss between Finlay and Hopkins here. Now, remember, these are the AM class drivers, so once the Pro-Ams are out, I think, you're going to see these guys get knocked back a little bit, but I'll be curious to see where Finlay and Hopkins land in the grid by the time this is all done, because we were seeing 142s from several drivers during practice, but not the entire grid, right? I wonder if these guys are going to end up starting the race mixed in with the Pro-Ams.
I think we're going to see a mixture. It's been pretty consistent, pretty much all season so far. And I think that it's going to be kind of a bit more of the same. Now we do have the Pro-Ams getting ready.
There you go, cutting out of the pits now. Steven Tomazic leading the way. The number 43 Porsche. Some drivers electing to stay there. DJ Stevens back to drive this week.
I see Glendino in chat. Want to apologize to Glendino for making the mistake and calling him an Aston driver. He is very much firmly Audi R8. He's got the 4 rings, kind of like in his blood.
There you go. Adam Willie decides to not quite get that lap started. Going to jump back and give it another shot. Yes, Chief Blaze is back, Matt. Been a minute since we've seen Chief on track. I don't think he participated in Season 5 at all. And now he returns. He missed the first 2 races of Season 6 and now jumps back in. So let's see how he does today. Really tight for these AM-class drivers now, if you look. I mean, I know we're split between 42 and 43, but the total spread is only 1.3 seconds for those 6 drivers. So that, I think we're going to get some great racing again from these guys. Yeah. And now I'm curious to see where our Pro-Ams are going to land and how this will end up mixed up by the end of this.
Yeah, the thing that I'm actually kind of really interested in seeing out of the AM class is like this is a small class for this race. Like we got 20 drivers on track. We've got 7 AMs from the looks of it, unless those number placards are wrong, which I don't think they are. So definitely wish we could see some more AMs jump into the series, because I just think it's a good place to learn. Like you guys run a good show, so.
Well, if you want, Phil, I mean, you can keep covering. I'll go turn around, jump in real quick, and I'm definitely an AM-class driver, right? So
you are more than welcome at any point in time to do whatever your heart calls to you, because that's what you do with hobbies, right?
That's right. But these boys do not want me on track. Trust me. Well,
that's what we need to do. We need to turn you into an AM class winning machine. That maybe that's what the goal should be.
Then they just push me to Pro-Am, and I do bad things there. So
So it does look like you're my boy Blue in the Yitcal M4, getting ready to start a flyer. It looks like.
Yeah. I think he's already gone around once. This should be his flying lap now. Be one of his first. Wait to see who's going to come across the line first and jump into the mix there amongst the AM drivers.
Yeah, AM side does look a little bit empty, which makes me sad. But the thing is that maybe seeing how they perform relative to the Pro-Am field will convince some of the young guns sitting on the sidelines to jump into the series, because, again, I feel like the gap between AM and Pro-Am is not that far.
Mm-hmm. No, it really isn't. I think this might be one of those. And there we go. Steven Tomazic getting his first lap in with a 142.7.
Yeah.
No, I think I don't know how to. I can't even describe what I'm trying to think right now. But Glendino in the chat that asked if I like the Audi R8 Evo 1, I'd be looking for a teammate. I do kind of prefer the 1 still. I think I keep trying to drive the 2, and it's not working out for me. I don't know why.
A little too understeery for you?
That and the back end seems to like to wander a lot.
That's that lift-off oversteer. That's the Achilles heel of the Audi R8.
Yeah. It just, I'll think the corner's holding, and then all of a sudden, the back end just decides to try and catch the front end. So, where in the Evo 1, it doesn't do that to me. Ivan Zolotarov now setting a time, 142.972, putting him right in third, but he's running up by 0.3 right now, but I think would be pushing purple, but Tomazic just a little ahead, and there Zolotarov claims purple for a few corners. Adam Willie hanging one out, 142.857, still a 1/10.5 off of his pace. Oh, and Chief Blaze in with the crazy sub gifting. Thank you, Chief.
Wow.
You're supposed to be driving, but he is sitting in the pits now, so I guess he has time for that stuff.
He's bombing the chat with
Right?
some gifted subs.
Thank you much, sir. Man, the myth, the legend himself.
So right now, you were talking before we got out of free practice about the margins right here. We got a half second between P1 and P8.
Total?
Yep.
Let me go back.
Half
there.
second. That's it. That's all there is between
Yeah. I see that.
Zolotarev and now Michael Zwanenberg. Finally greater than a half second. Steve Music jumps into P7 in the 44.296 wagon with a 43.067. Like 5,000ths of a second off of Butler, Josh Butler.
Yo, Chief just went,
Avalanche.
Chief just went crazy again.
Look at that.
He just hammered down again.
Man is just dropping
10.
Man is just dropping subs.
I feel like I need to beat him.
It's like somebody like the subs, they just fell off the back of a truck and he's just handing them out.
Thank you very much, Chief. You're good. You're man, the myth, the legend himself.
What about Hepburn? 42.410 right now for provisional pole. Hepburn showing all those 296 drivers. In fact, look at the standings right now.
I know.
It's a Porsche, Feza, Porsche, Feza.
Yeah, all the way down to P11, basically, before we see your boy Blue there in the
and
in
here's
the M4.
the thing right now. After the post 1.9.3 patch, everybody has been singing the praises of the Lambo Evo 2. As being the car that needs to get nerfed next. So I'm kind of interested to see how this race shakes out for real. We don't have that many Evo 2s in this field. We have more, I think, in the Pro and Silver, if I'm correct.
Okay.
So I think it'll be interesting.
Steven Music cutting his lap short, heading in towards the pits. He was showing purple. Bob Charlton now showing up 4/10 on his fastest, may be able to get into pole. Adam Willie, same thing. These guys keep trading back and forth with the purple. You will see that outline around their name. If anyone's doing a lap like Adam Willie is right now that shows a time that's going to put them on pole, their name on the tower will be highlighted in purple.
So right now the margins between Charlton and Hepburn could not be smaller. 0.04 of a second. Really? It's sector to sector. You couldn't tell who's faster looking at the data. Like it's just ever so slightly benefiting Hepburn, ever so slightly in sector 3. But otherwise, I feel like there's nothing in it between these two. Yeah. So if this ends up being the provisional front row of the grid, we've got Porsche and a 296. It's going to be interesting. What are the plans for bopping the 296 and the 992? Kunos, yes. It's definitely an interesting meta right now in terms of how strong we've got two cars in it. And I really feel like that meta translates to a majority of the field, but then when you get up into like the esports category, it's starting to become a little less pronounced, which I think is probably the reflection of a strong meta. But we'll see. So right now, Hepburn in there with the provisional pole. I was kind of hoping that Tomazic could make a play for the front.
Yeah, I really thought Charlton was going to get up there as well. And sorry, I was distracted taking care of something for a moment. But as you said, Robert Hepburn. And Hepburn's still out on track wanting to beat his own record. Yeah. So not giving up at this point, for sure. Ivan Zolotarev now shows purple. So this field is going to be so tight. And again, you talked about the relative earlier and how far down it pushed. Granted, we're still down to, I mean, really within that half second, say 0.6. We're still going all the way to P8 with that. Yeah. That is craziness that we're gonna see this close. I mean, this is gonna be close racing. Chris Finlay and Bruce Hopkins securely in that top 8, only half a second off of their Pro-Am peers. Butler still within a second. I mean, you have to go all the way to P14 to fall out of a 1 second gap for this qualifier.
And that is the sign of a really strong field. Like we've got the Pro-Am and AM, like they're pretty closely matched. It's not that far off.
Oh no.
So we're checkered.
I broke ACC TV.
You done broke it.
I did. All I tried to do was move it, and it's suddenly
Spoken.
I can't do anything. I'm gonna have to close it and bring it back. That's all right. We're just getting the race started.
That's good. That's okay, because we're gonna go into the race. You're gonna have fresh data. We'll be good for that. If not, if ACC TV breaks, you just pop up the old broadcast with the good old F2.
Right. I'll have to.
Just use ACC TV off screen to just navigate the camera.
Oh, I think we're gonna be good here. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried to change screens, and all of a sudden it decided to move itself.
Yeah.
So that personal best up for everyone as we finish out here.
So let's talk about this qualifying field as we're in max wait time. There is 0.07 of a second between Hepburn and Charlton. Mm-hmm. There is less than 0.2 between Tomazic and Hepburn. So we got less than 0.2 back down to P4. Yeah. Less than a half second, less than 0.4 between P1 to P7. You're my boy blue within 0.4 right now of Hepburn, like within M4, no less. So both Corey Hampshire and the new kid on the block here, the NKOTB representative in the AMG Car 24 with a 42.670, good showing for Corey. And then blue getting the Gitcow M4 up into P7.
Right. I think we're going to have some very interesting racing. This just really looks like... This just looks as though it's all going to come together. And it's going to come across classes, too. I don't think classes are going to matter at all with this today. These guys run way too close. Way too close. And this mixture is going to carry. I mean, obviously, we're going to have some slower drivers towards the back. That happens every time. Kenny O'Connor not qualifying. Chief Blaze not qualifying. Edward Walsh, some of the Pro-Am drivers sitting back here. It'll be curious to see where this shakes out. I can't wait. As today's grid pops up, let's go and walk it through. Mr. Robert Hepburn starting in row 1 with Bob Charlton. Running in the number 153, Ivan Zolotarov. Stephen Tomazic going to share row 2. Adam Willey with his nice fancy new Mountain Dew livery. And Corey Hampshire in the number 24 car. Sharing row 3. Row 4, your boy Blue. There he is. P7 in the 614 and Chris Finlay. Bruce Hopkins, Josh Butler round out the top 10 to start this. Steven Music, Michael Zwanenberg. Row 6. Nick Paquin, DJ Stevens. This is such a great grid. We got a lot of drivers today, man. 20 drivers on track. Yeah, this is going to be crazy. Yonan Dyke, David Collins, sharing row 8. John Rulin, Ed Walsh, row 9. As Kenny O'Connor. Why did you change cameras? I guess we're just doing what we want now. Kenny O'Connor, Chief Blaze,
30 seconds.
Bringing up the back of the grid as we get ready for this 45-minute race to kick off. Get our pit stop set.
20 seconds.
We pull back out here on this grid. So Phil, what's your prediction today? What are we looking at?
My prediction is it's going to be a Porsche or a 296 that wins. I wanted to go out on a limb.
I don't think you're allowed to make that prediction.
No. So I think so. Here's the thing. I'm really looking forward to seeing how AM stacks up. I think Finlay might have what it takes finally to punch in a victory,
Mhm.
and then I really want to see what this new kid Corey Hampshire can do. And having an AMG inside the top 10 could be a reflection of a bit of the BOP change. And to be honest, I think it's going to be pretty welcome around here.
Okay.
AMG around Kyalami is going to be tough. So if Corey Hampshire can crack the top 5, I think that's going to be a really good showing for a debut race. Ivan Zolotarev, I think he's got his hands full with this top 5 right now. I don't think it's going to be easy street for him. So.
But I will tell you this: KBAZZ in chat, or ACC in chat, says Hepburn should win from pole unless commentator curse happens again. So once again, one of us is being blamed for something we have no control over.
You know, it's really fascinating how we have so much power with what we say on stream. Should we try and manifest some other things, right?
Let's try this.
Molson, I really want to know how you're going to feel after you win the lotto this weekend.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you, sir.
I really want to know. Be sure and just let us know how what sort of things you got in mind to use your lotto money with.
Oh, well, Phil, you're going to have to let me know how it feels when you are chosen to go race for somebody as a pro esports racer and end up being the fastest and have it develop into a career of real sports car racing in whatever class you might want. Okay.
Well, I mean, if it is pro shopping carts, then I think I've got a shot.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I think pro shopping carts for sure. Because the likelihood I'm going to perform in esports in any category. We'll set expectations pretty low.
I'll tell you what, just for that, KB in chat, I hope Hepburn pulls an Anderson. Going into the pits. No, I don't. I don't really wish that on Hepburn. I want to see how he does today.
Here's what I want to say about Hepburn. Here's my prediction. Hepburn is going to have a very clean race. Laguna was a bit of a shocker for him, so I think he really needs a little bit of luck, and I think he's due. I think he's come due. Again, that's the reason why I think Zolotarev is going to have a really tough act with this field, because Laguna kind of shaped up to where he could kind of just run his own race. I don't think that's going to be true here at Laguna, or here at Kyalami. So we're just going to wait and see.
Absolutely. The drivers are in double file as we wait to kick off this next 45 minutes of racing. Don't forget, folks, stick around. After this race, the pro and silver split will kick off. Hopefully, with a little bit of a lineup, maybe we can catch some of the qualifying over there as it takes off. Old Pixel in chat subscribing. Thank you so much, sir. Your support is appreciated. Sorry you're not racing today. We hope to see you back soon. Oh my God, these guys were in double file when I looked just a minute ago. Oh, they are. Okay. Sorry.
Keep your eye on turn 1.
Green. Let's head down into turn 1. Pull that camera back a little bit. See how much action we can kick. Zolotarev pulling up on Bob Charlton. Charlton running deep into the corner. Everybody slowing down.
Yep. 4 wide from about.
And we've got taps there to spin in T1.
That is exactly kind of what I was talking about.
Yep, Steven Music getting knocked around. Let's catch back up here, though. A lot of contact.
Yeah, only a few cars off, though.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you know, a lot of cars on the tree showing contact, but it looks like Music might have been the only one that actually got spun. So good for him.
Hopefully Steven can get back on track. Steven had a pretty good recovery performance. Go ahead.
Where are we here? Yep, we've got more involved with David Collins, Chief Blaze. I think Edward Walsh might have gotten touched up in that one. As Yonendike gets around Kenny O'Connor. Chris Finlay takes lead at P6 over Adam Willey. But let's check up in with Zolotarev, who is being run down by newcomer Corey Hampshire right now.
Zolotarev, I think, he's got his work cut out for him. And, man, Corey Hampshire off the green lights, immediately making a statement, punching inside of the top 5. Still a long race, but we're going to see what he can do in the AMG machine.
Yeah, as you said, off the jump, done very well so far. But now has had to fall back off Zolotarov as we take a look at Corey Hampshire. Now under pressure from Steven Tomazik. Got a bit of a bout going back here between your boy Blue, Nick Paquin, and Bruce Hopkins. But to your point, Robert Hepburn, 1.8 over Bob Charlton right now. If he can maintain that pace as Nick Paquin gets around your boy Blue, nice clean pass right there. He can hold on to it.
In terms of the lap deltas, though, they are not that far off on pace. I'm kind of interested to see what Charlton can do, see if he can punch back. For Fat Old Pixel in chat, quali time was a 42.382 from Robert Hepburn. There was 0.07 of a second between him and Charlton in the 296, the 153 entry. So, yeah, slim margins in this field for Kyalami.
And right now, tight racing. Your boy Blue leading a pack of Nick Paquin, Bruce Hopkins, Josh Butler, Michael Zwanenberg, and DJ Stevens. They are just stacked up as now Blue must be closing in on a back marker because he's 3 seconds back from Adam Willey at this point. So that's, I didn't see with the number on that car right in front of him. Chief Blaze comes out of the pits, must have had enough damage to go make repairs. Edward Walsh steps ahead of Tristan Jonendijk. Jay Stevens, Josh Butler racing back here. Oh, and a push there again. No, between Stevens and Zwanenberg. I'm sorry, as Josh Butler continues on through.
Edward Walsh making some evasive maneuvers, dodging a bit of that chaos. Hepburn with that fast lap, 43.285. 2 seconds on Charlton right now.
Wow. Yeah. Check in with Kenny O'Connor. DJ Stevens chasing him down.
So Walsh in the pits already. I wonder if he just got cut off on the entry. Kyalami's got a really weird pit entry. Actually check his car out. Doesn't look like he's got anything in it in terms of damage. Hopefully that's not a retirement for Ed. Oh, we got a car spun off. Oh, and contact.
Yep. David Collins getting spun hard.
Well, Dave Collins just went into Tristan Jonendijk, who was stationary.
Is that who it was? Okay.
Yeah. So the 6.9, the night racing is catching people out.
Yes, it is.
To go back to Charlton real quick, the reason why the gap is starting to build between Hepburn and Charlton is that Charlton's got a rear view mirror full of the F1 memes racing Porsche 911. Zolotarov's got 0.6. So it's definitely getting close. Still got 20 cars on track, even with all the accidents. To be honest, this is one of those races where if you have a bad moment on track, you stick with it, because Kyalami is going to definitely claim a few more casualties before we're done with this race.
Like DJ Steven has slowed down, lost 3 spots there. The Zwanenberg ruling and music. Robert Hepburn setting a new fastest lap. I think the other part of this is Hepburn right now has clean air, right? He hasn't caught anybody. I mean, Charlton does too. There's nobody in front of him, I'm sure. But the point being is, Hepburn, he's qualifying right now, right? He can just spin his laps and mind his business. Now, once the pits start, as Tristan Jonendijk now heads into the pits, once the pit stops start, well, we see who gets the undercuts, the overcuts, and everything. Then we'll see how this washes out. 2.5 seconds is close enough to, a bad pit stop can ruin that for you. Ask Anthony Anderson.
Yes, it can. It definitely looks like Steve Music is back on the attack. He's got John Rulin in the Cal Racing Lambo, who goes a bit wide on the exit of, I believe that is Barbecue. So John Rulin got a fight on his hands.
Music closing it down very quick, and there he goes right there.
Oh, Rulin playing the big brain strats. He's telling himself, I don't have to beat Steven Music. I need to catch Zwanenberg.
Yeah.
So definitely just going to let that car go, and probably the smarter play is going to have to find strategic places to make that pass happen in an economical fashion.
Same with this little battle shaping up now between Nick Paquin and Bruce Hopkins. Nick Paquin does not need to race. Bruce
Is that your my boy Blue off
looks
track?
like, yes, he is spun and sitting sideways.
What happened there?
Let's go back. We're going to go back 30 seconds. It may be a little long, but let's catch it.
So on the way down into mine shaft, everything looks
right there. Just lost the back end. No contact, no problems.
kept it out of the wall though.
He did.
Like losing spots, definitely not what you want to see, but and then just like having a tough time getting the car maybe refired. So down some spots, but no damage on the car. So we'll see if your my boy Blue can recover some spots. He's got to chase down Kenny O'Connor first.
Zolotarov taking Charlton on right there. Very smooth pass. With a little bit, it looks like a little bit of contact. Not enough to throw either driver off track, but definitely Zolotarov definitely showing contact during the course of that. A little door banging never hurt anybody, right?
That is correct. Back to the race leader. Although Zolotarov just came off with an indicator as he finds his way around Charlton. So that's going to be an interesting update when that data updates on pit wall. I wonder if Charlton had a bit of a moment.
We'll say, as we talked about earlier, Corey Hampshire having a great race so far, still sitting in P4. Good 3 seconds back from Charlton. And, you know, so, Phil, have we turned enough laps yet for Pitwall to tell us kind of those averages and where we are?
Yeah, let me pull that up real quick.
Particularly for someone like Hampshire, who is new to the series, someone we haven't seen race with us before.
Yeah, sure. So right now, if we take a look at Hepburn and we kind of use Hepburn, who is kind of the mark. Let's go to. So if I'm looking at that, 42.986 right now is Hepburn's average over 5 laps. 43.911 for Hampshire on the average.
Speaking of which, Hampshire dropping to Adam Willie. Things tightened up here quickly. Willie leading Hampshire and Steven Tomazik.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering what happened there. 44.0 last lap for Hampshire, so something must have happened. Definitely knocked him off of his current lap average, although Willie has actually been racing pretty strong right now. 5 lap average for Adam is going to come in less than that 43.9 for sure.
Wow.
But the 43.222 last lap to Hampshire's 44.042. So right now, advantage Adam Willie.
And it looks like he's using it. He's taking up now P4. Open that gap up to a full second.
Probably had the Mountain Dew injected directly into his veins. Now he's just moving.
Got looped up today. He's all pepped up on goofballs. As we watch Corey Hampshire now going to play defense against Steven Tomazik. As Ivan Zolotarov sets our new fastest lap with a 142.287. Wow. Let's take a look as we watch this battle continue. A little early, but still, with all the action we saw and the pushes and accidents and spins, where is it here? There it is. Position delta for today. Zolotarov up 1, getting around Bob Charlton. Willie and Hampshire both up a position today. Those two taken from Steven Tomazik. Chris Finlay up 1. Nick Paquin making moves up 5, as we see right there. Tomazik looking to complete the pass on Corey Hampshire. Not quite. We'll see if he can hold on to it. We can see Hopkins and Butler both staying even so far. But Kenny O'Connor, wow. Up 8 spots on the day.
And that's just
Big
down to
advantage.
keeping it clean.
Yeah.
That's just down to keeping it clean. That mid-pack collision on lap 1 definitely set the order a bit of a mix. One thing to pay attention to right now. So Zolotarov pumps in a 42.287 to set the fastest lap. Currently has a just on single lap pace a 5/10 advantage to Hepburn. So
Oh,
we
wow.
could be seeing a race here soon.
Excellent.
Hepburn's going to have to get with it if he wants to try and maintain this gap, which is currently down to 3.8. Probably less than that now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's tightening up. Nick Paquin being chased by, and looks like we're going to have a three-way battle come up here again. Corey Hampshire. Tomazic falling back a bit, but he's got Chris Finlay on his tail. He's got to play some defense with. But a three-way run for P5 coming up here in just a second.
So I think the current meta kind of starting to show a little bit of its strength here with Hepburn and Zolotarov at the front of the field right now. Charlton and Willie holding P3, P4 in the field. It just doesn't look like they're able to match the pace of the 992. Seems to be a very strong car around here.
Oh, and there, Chris Finlay is able to take out Steven Tomazic. And Bruce Hopkins getting around Nick Paquin. Actually, Paquin losing to Hopkins and Butler. So Butler able to make a sneak on him too.
Paquin had a pretty shocking lap. He had a 44.892 last lap, so he lost some significant pace relative to the field.
Wow. DJ Stevens picking up P15 right now. We catch back up with Corey Hampshire, who still has Chris Finlay right there, and Tomazic not far back. A little outside the gap, but at 8/10, but still. These three coming together repeatedly, as now Zwanenberg and Music.
Man, Hampshire's pace is just falling like a stone. Last lap was a 45.165.
Wow.
Take a look at Hampshire's lap by lap stats, because that just looks like an aggressive drop off. And it is. I mean, we're talking about 43s, mid 43s at the start of the race.
Okay.
And he's just been steady climbing. Last lap was so he had like a 44.0 on lap 5, 44.6 on lap 6. It's just steady climbing, 44.4, 45.1. So could be he got the pressures wrong. Could be he had a bit of a moment on track, might have scuffed the race set that he's running. Race set of Pirellis. He's going to have to try and get it together, though, because like it's going to be a tough race here on out.
Josh Butler dropping 3 spots down to P13. Seemed out of nowhere. Just, again, that pace seemed to fall off. There was no contact. I didn't see him turned. Even through the replay, saw none of that. And he just, dropped 3 spots just like that. As we watched Chris Finlay.
It could be some of the punishment that you get around here at Kyalami. Like I said, you go off track. It is not a rewarding experience, especially in Sector 2. Finlay a little wide on the exit of Crocodiles.
Zolotarov, we got to back that up again. Let's do another replay real quick. Bob Charlton. As these two come together, Charlton looks like there was a bit of a nudge. I'm showing contact for Zolotarov. Doesn't always pick up for both. Oh, and right there, throws it through the curb. Wow. And yeah, a little bit of contact right there as Charlton came. Looks like Charlton came through. Nothing damaging, but that was all curb all day. My goodness.
To be honest, right there, Zolotarov has gotten a get out of jail free card for that one, because that right there would have been probably race ending damage if he'd have gone all the way to the wall.
Yeah.
But he managed to correct it. It did come back out on track, but everybody behind him staying frosty. Nobody got seriously rammed on that one, so definitely a lucky moment, a lucky escape for Zolotarev.
Yeah, that was a lot of curb. Wow. But with that, we checked in on your boy Blue just getting himself into the top 10 from Kenny O'Connor, back into the top 10 from Kenny O'Connor, the number 614 M4.
Yeah, now he's got a bit of an uphill climb. 7 seconds between him and Nick Paquin, so that's going to come down to trying to execute on some race strategy, see if he can make a move to get past Paquin, and then after that, Tomaszyk's like at this point like 15 seconds ahead.
Yeah, the thing is, Pixel, that corner's only difficult at night for the Porsche.
I think that corner is pretty difficult, even in the daytime, for just about every car.
That was just for Pixel, so just so you're aware. Yeah.
Ah, gotcha. Gotcha.
Not if you're me, he says.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's how the other half lives, I guess.
That's because he lets the mullet do the driving.
Okay. Yeah.
Kenny O'Connor taking a little bit of a push from Steven Music.
Oh, a little bit.
Little ding on the back corner, let him know he's there. Music tightening right up.
Now they are in a drag race down to Crowthorne here.
O'Connor trying to hold on.
It's going to be tough. Inside line into...
Whoa, somebody went a little haywire in the background. Josh Butler, it looks like. Got sucked down into the corner.
That right there was a bit of that Porsche snap, but it looks like he might have recovered it and not killed anyone in the process, so good recovery for Butler.
Yeah, no contact, but wow, that got scary for a minute. Steven Music able to pull up to P11 with Kenny O'Connor behind him. A little bit of a spread now as I think everybody saw the Porsche of the number 881 of Josh Butler cut through the sand and got awful nervous and decided their battles must wait.
Yeah.
Which I think is a good thing.
Yeah, Music back into it is just good to see because he was back down at the very back of the pack after the start of the race. So back up into P11. Hopefully he can make a pretty good pit stop and we'll see what he can do as he continues the recovery. Seeing a white flag for Mr. Corey Hampshire.
I'm trying to see here because no one's
dropping back.
Right now.
Yeah, dropping back into the clutches of this gaggle of cars. We got Tomaszych and Finlay in there.
Nick Paquin spun backwards and sitting in the corner waiting to get clear.
I wonder what happened there. Ooh, he's going to have to Austin Powers it.
Go back and take a look here and see. Again, no contact reported. But I'd like to see what... Oh, again, another trip to the sand and just missed the back end of that Ferrari. Wow. Somebody got very lucky.
Dodged the sausage, but somehow went wide enough to end the car around.
Yeah.
Laps in the books for Hepburn. Still in the lead of this race. Currently has an 8.2 second lead on Charlton.
So your boy Blue picking up another position, gets him into 9th, holding on to that top 10. Bob Hepburn. And as Charlton heads into the pits, Adam Willey heading into the pits now. Now, I did not hear Steven Tomaszych into the pits. These guys are going to start clearing stops. Now, I don't know, Phil, and maybe Blue can tell us if he ends up watching the pro race, because I'm really not sure if there's a pit window for these sprint races.
I do not believe so. I believe the pit window is for the endurance format.
Okay.
We do have Charlton in the pits here in the middle. So going half and half, it looks like, for Charlton. We're gonna watch his pit stop to kind of get an idea of what we're looking at.
Back it up. Chris Finlay spun on track. Oh,
Now that is not what Chris Finlay wanted, because Finlay was looking really good to potentially finally get that top spot in the AM class. So unlucky, Chris Finlay. Number of pit stops pumping in. We got Charlton, Willie, Tomazik, Music, Zwanenberg, all diving into the pits.
And all
Charlton
back,
with the.
Yep, go ahead. No, I was just say Charlton, Willie, and Tomazik all back out now.
Yeah, and so pit stop times 108.0 for Charlton, 105.9 for Willie, which was looking pretty good. But then you've got Tomazik and Steven Music pumping in. Well, Tomazik pumping in a 102.651.
Okay.
So,
jeez.
Steven Tomazik right now, the canary in the coal mine in terms of pit stop times to beat.
Now, if I'm Hepburn, I'm having a great race. I'm 10 seconds up on P2, right? Zolotarov, who got there after getting around. Who was it this one? I forget now. Point being is he's got a 10-second gap. Do you wait for the pits to clear? Do you just stay out? I mean, if you're running a good race right now, traffic, I understand you're not going to hit you can't run into people in the pits and such, right? The cars are ghosted. I understand that. But what I'm saying is it easier to let it clear out a little bit, go in afterwards?
The thing that I would use for setting where I'm gonna take a pit stop is where I am relative to the traffic. Okay. Like he's got a car he's coming up towards. I believe that is Ed Walsh. If he starts to get towards the back of Ed Walsh, that might be the time to try and jump into the pits and get the service taken care of. It also kind of depends on his average lap time pace. And if I'm looking at the gap chart right now for Hepburn. See if I can do it. Maybe I can. Maybe I can.
Wow, Kenny O'Connor and DJ Stevens both able to slip past Josh Butler. O'Connor now going to take up the lead of this train. Finlay and Rulin in the pits.
So if I'm looking at the average lap time between Zolotarov, although it looks like Hepburn's in the pits now.
Both of them actually. Zolotarov and Hepburn have headed into the pits.
Yep.
Chris Finlay still in there.
Open the stint chart now. I've got both their time pulled up on the stopwatch. We're going to see what they do inside pit lane. But yeah, I would use traffic as being like the decision unless you've purposefully fueled half and half.
Okay. Want to see who's going to come out first here. Robert Hepburn off, or I'm sorry, Zolotarov off the Jackson, moving Robert Hepburn already out.
Which tracks? I mean, the gap was pretty sizable by the time Hepburn got on the jacks. Hampshire seems to have got the 24 AMG sorted a little bit, bringing those average lap times down. Last lap was a 43.0.
Kenny O'Connor getting pushed into the corner.
Oof.
I don't know
who was that.
Was that
Is that
Collins?
David Collins?
It looks like it could be David Collins. Ended up pushing on him. A hard one there is Tristan Yonendijk is off track. A lot of off track. Guys are struggling tonight.
It's Kyalami at night. It is like you touch the grass or you touch any of that kitty litter and it just pulls you off track. Yeah, Hampshire bringing his lap times back down into the low 44s, which is kind of what you want to see. 101.1 for Hepburn in the pits. 103.165 for Zolotarov. So Zolotarov leaving some time on the table relative to to Hepburn. That's definitely not what you want to see.
Yep. And if we look at it, that gap has pretty much held. Robert Hepburn has 3.3 seconds back to O'Connor, 2.5 from there back to Paquin, and 3.1 back to Zolotarov as Josh Butler and DJ Stevens head into the pits. So yeah, we're still going to end up when this is all over with about a 10-second gap between Hepburn and Zolotarov for the last half of this race.
Just looking through the data some more. Kind of curious. When Hampshire is going to pull the trigger on the pit stops. Oh boy, Blue also hanging out pretty late. 15 laps. Probably running long after that spin. If he overfueled a little bit, might be trying to run so that when he gets that mandatory tire change, be running lighter on fuel.
Gotcha.
It'll feel like a better car. Top of the speed traps, by the way. 244 kph for You're My Boy Blue and 614.
Oh, wow. As you can see on your screen, Corey Hampshire, Bruce Hopkins, your boy Blue, Kenny O'Connor, Nick Paquin, the only drivers left to take a mandatory pit stop for fuel and tires. And with no window, I mean, I don't know any of these guys specifically. Their heads Bruce Hopkins into the pits. We've seen drivers who will wait until the last 2 laps to do that pit stop.
Yeah.
For whatever reason.
There's probably some scenarios where the overcut is preferable. Yeah.
That's a huge overcut, right? If you're rolling out all the way to the last lap or 2.
Let's look at this data.
Nick Paquin now heading in.
So I'm thinking right now, like, Zolotarov is going to have to pull off something special to close in on Hepburn with the amount of time we got left.
Yeah.
Because 8 seconds is going to be tough. Looks like.
Yeah, especially given the time left, 15, just under 16 minutes left to go. Now, again, you're the man with the data. What does your data tell you about Zolotarov catching Hepburn in that time?
It's not looking promising. Just on the lap averages alone, Hepburn's got, I want to say, 5/10 in hand.
Oh, wow.
But
okay.
keep in mind, we do have a lot of that information based on Zolotarov having a bit of a spin.
Yes.
In stint number 1. So take that with a grain of salt. If Zolotarov can, but I mean, that's the thing though. Like for Zolotarov to make that up, he's gonna have to be pumping in. He's gonna have to be pumping in close to 41s.
Okay.
And I just don't think that pace is in the car right now for him.
Gotcha. Corey Hampshire and your boy Blue both in the pits as we watch a replay here of Josh Butler, who I found yellow flagged against the wall. Guess I didn't have to go to 30 seconds. Another curb deals with another Porsche.
So just dealing with a car on track, car just out of position, probably on the marbles, might have gotten a little too far to the inside of the corner at a Juxay sweep and just like bounce the curb, and that's just enough to buy you a one-way ticket to the wall.
Those Porsches are bouncy little things.
It's mostly just down to like.
Is it because it's the size of a Matchbox car? Is that what it is?
I mean, we could talk about the platform of the Porsche all day and how it's a bit of an odd one.
So as we come out of this, Robert Hepburn, now I was watching for this come back together. 1 lap ago, Robert Hepburn had about a 6 to 7 second lead
It's just
over
the average.
Well, no, I'm looking at the gaps, but now that is open with Kenny O'Connor up to 9.2.
It's between Hepburn and Zolotera, like there's
Yeah.
like 3-4 tenths between them.
Yep.
Unfortunately, 4 tenths advantage to Hepburn isn't what Zolotera wants right now.
Gotcha. Okay.
So this is definitely a bit of a Freaky Friday moment for this current category, because the tables were completely opposite in Laguna. Like Zolotera had pace in hand, Hepburn had a tragic race. So we're seeing a bit of a turning of the tables here at Kyalami. Zolotera, though, if he does finish in this position, it's going to be a really good points haul in Pro-Am. So
I was going to say Zolotarov in Pro-Am class currently first, right? And let's see, where did we see Robert Hepburn? We didn't. Robert Hepburn currently in 12th. This is at least going to get him jumped up there pretty good if he can hold on to this till the end of this race.
yeah, it was all about the just the unlucky result for Hepburn at Laguna.
Although, actually, I'll have to disagree with you. Now, I didn't watch Laguna, right? I haven't even gone back and watched it yet. But it looks to me like his worst luck was at Suzuka at the opener.
Yeah,
P14.
Yeah, it's just that's kind of what I talked about in the early shot. Forgot about how bad the Suzuka result was, especially because we had so many people in the Am Pro Am split for that race. He's just had really bad luck. He's got a really good car. He really knows how to drive it, but he's just had a really bad dose of luck, and it looks like it might have turned around. So knock on wood for Mr. Hepburn. He can have a clean race and a good result. Kind of recover a little bit of his season so far, because I mean there's still plenty of races left. Anything can happen.
That's right. Your boy Blue getting chased down right now by Steven Music. Everybody else pretty well spread out at this point. Just over 11 minutes left to go for the first of 2 races today. Coming up afterwards, Silver and Pro class driving. 1 hour
really
race.
Looking forward to that one.
Yep, 1 hour race right here at Kyalami. Don't go anywhere. We'll look to go through those results. Current standings on the season. We talked about this, and just as a preview, we talked about this on Recovery Drive on Thursday. A 3-way tie for first right now in Silver.
Yeah, it's a testament to this season, because we've got really close field in Pro and Silver for sure. It's kind of been a lot of fun to watch, and that's even with some of the races being particularly spicy. Like Suzuka wasn't as spicy as Laguna, but it wasn't tame by any stretch.
Yeah.
So it's been very interesting to see that the racing has been this close for the first 2 rounds, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what the rest of the season's got in store. I'm actually really interested to see what Pro and Silver does at Valencia. I'm really interested to see how people adapt to a new track like that. Whoa, music.
Yep, music off track.
Going sideways.
Give Blue a little bit of a breather, no longer needing to defend. You know what? I think one of the biggest things for me, we talked about at the beginning of this race, Bill, is that the new penalty point system. We've already had our first quali ban. That driver apparently chose not to show up this week. I don't think that erases your quali ban. I think your quali ban just follows you until you show up for a race, right? At least I hope that's how the rule is written. And I'm curious to see how many of these drivers get shut down by the end of the season. It's because it's a progressive system. It's a progressive system. It doesn't just start and stop at a quali ban. There's a quali ban, then there's a race ban, then you're done for the season, right?
Yeah.
And so I know we're not the first ever league to do this, but I'm really curious to see how it plays out. I thought at this point we would have fewer incidents. I think we've had fewer pileups, right? I think we've had fewer major incidents, T1 pileups, things of that nature. But I still think we're getting a lot of incidents, right? So.
Well, I mean, we're sim racing, right? This is for for 99.95% of the people who participate in this hobby, it is just that, a hobby. So the majority of us are amateurs in the field, and you get systems like the GT3 platform with amateurs on track and stuff like that. Get some close racing involved, there are a lot of cars on track, and you're going to have incidents. It's just gonna happen.
Oh, I know, and I don't expect to ever see us down at 0. Absolutely not. When you're driving this close to this many people, and Zolotaryov has just left his blinker on, apparently. When you have this many people on this driving this fast, this closely together on a track, yes, incidents are always going to happen. I would love to see how many were avoidable. Right? Did someone not want to back out in a pass? Did someone, you know what I mean? Like, I really want to, I'm curious to know, and I don't go in and review these incidents, so it's not for me to say, but I'm curious to know how many of these are avoidable by maybe not just being as aggressive at that moment, right?
Yeah, I just posted it in chat. I feel like the number of incidents we're seeing, not bad.
Yeah.
But I would argue that we are starting to approach a baseline. And I think that that's okay.
Yep, absolutely.
I think that the penalty system is a good system. The progressive nature of it, I'm kind of hot and cold on. Like, okay. I like an aggressive system that really does not reward people that really don't care about risking other people's races, because that's really what a progressive penalty system is designed to do. It's designed to discourage people from taking risks that compromise other people's races.
Yeah.
Adam Willie backwards on track. Hopefully he's going to be able to get that going forward, although it looks like Blue's going to find his way around.
Yes, he did. Bruce Hopkins and Blue, your boy Blue, getting around Adam Willie. That's put Blue up in 7th for today with just over 6 minutes left to go. Let's take a look at that position delta again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say Blue's back to square one, so he's not negative anymore. That's a good thing.
That is a good recovery drive, especially with the M4 being not a strong car at this track, for sure. Same deal with Corey Hampshire running the AMG around here. Not a strong car for this circuit. So we got two non-meta cars kind of a bit out of position relative to the field. Back to the penalty thing.
Yeah.
I think it would be interesting to see a continued evolution of what you guys are doing with the penalty point system.
Yep.
And, hats off to you guys for switching to the penalty system, because of all the things, I really feel like you guys you're using what's available to you in the game to the best of your abilities. Like, you have to, there's only so much you can do in ACC given the tools that we have.
Yeah.
And I feel like the point system and employing things like the penalty ban or the quali ban are kind of you guys exercising the tools that are available to you to try and exert a little bit of control on the series to make sure that people aren't taking, silly risks and stuff.
Yeah, agreed.
Maybe the ability to deploy more than one quali ban before the race ban hits might be something to consider. I mean, there's definitely room to try new things with this kind of system, especially since you guys have moved to it, but I think it's a good system.
And we'll see how it plays out. I think we're going to be able to tweak it as necessary. I think this was a good starting point for this season, and we go where we got to go from there. We're not wondering, chat. Adam Willie, 42 seconds of damage. I wondered why he was heading into the pits, but that answers that question right there.
Ed Walsh is going to have a... Well, I mean, that was actually a decent recovery through Sunset. He went super wide. I wonder actually how many people are sitting on track warnings.
Whoa.
Because...
That'll certainly get you one. As Josh Butler takes up P12.
Yeah, Edward Walsh just trying to get the 720. Oh, having a moment. Hepburn right now kind of on easy street, holding the pace down at 42.6s. Both him and Zolotarev have picked it up. Zolotarev at a 42.8. Still advantage Hepburn. Somebody who's been kind of, at least from my perspective, been kind of a quiet car on track. Steven Tomazik in the 43, holding up 4th position. This could be some good points for him.
Yeah, I haven't seen much from him this race. I mean, that's not a bad thing. Meaning we haven't seen him involved in anything. So
Yeah.
really good there.
3 minutes left. Actually, less than that. I've changed my dashboards up so that I can't see the race time left.
Oh,
There we go. So there we go.
Glendino, have at it. Good luck for the race. We will be there to watch.
Am I missing something? I just got a session has ended indicator.
I don't see that, but yeah, I don't see that.
Weird.
Yeah, I still got 2:24
I think
left
my
on the
game.
clock.
I think my game is just glitched. Is what has just happened here?
ACC? No.
Yeah, ACC is just like completely goofed. Weird. Because I was in race, I was watching the counter tick down and it said session ended. I'm like, what?
Trying to look here and see if maybe Corey Hampshire has one more play to get into P4 over Steven Tomazik. The gap was closing down, but pushed back out just a little bit now. Ed Walsh, Kenny O'Connor back here for P13, having a battle right to the end.
I mean, between Hampshire and Tomazik, I mean, the advantage right now is in Hampshire's favor by the tune of a half second. So it is kind of like up to Corey to get the pass done.
Oof, another one. Oh, wow. O'Connor takes that curb in the 428 car. Ed Walsh having to go a little out of bounds and ends up going into the pits after that. And there it is, Steven Tomazik under pressure from Corey Hampshire now. As we come down to the last minute of this race, Josh Butler picking up P11, fighting it out with Nick Paquin right now.
So this is going to be maximum draft, so the AMG can go deep on the brakes into Crocodiles. Now, is Tomazik going to be able to nail him on the switchback? Doesn't look like it's going to happen. Zolotarev setting a fast lap of 42.0.
Right.
You remember I told you he needed 41s to catch? If he'd have been doing that like a little bit sooner, he might have had a shot. But Tomazik wide on the exit of the Ingwe hairpin, and
Corey Hampshire picking up P4 for his troubles. Wow. Right there on the last lap.
yeah, that half second in hand for Corey Hampshire is really working out for him right now.
Has opportunity to clear back marker traffic now. Another battle going back here for P15. Tristan Yonendijk picks up that position over Edward Walsh. Once again, another race with battles all the way through. As you said, Phil, I think that's a testament to how these drivers, you know, the skill level that we're seeing and why we see the point totals where they are. And this is where, as we head into the pro and silver class race, those points totals are just as tight. Again, 3 drivers tied for first in silver class racing, which we'll review here in just a few minutes. It looks like qualifying has begun over there as our race timer runs out. Ivan Zolotarev. What am I talking? I'm sorry. Robert Hepburn. If I can find the right thing on the list. As Robert Hepburn looks to clear this and take the win in the 4.60.992.
Yeah, that's what he needed, man. He really needed a result. He really needed luck a little bit on his side. But yeah, he's he managed to convert it. So hats off to him. Congratulations.
Absolutely. Zolotarev crossing the line. Bob Charlton behind him. That's your podium for today's race. Corey Hampshire, a newcomer in the number 24 car in P4. Steven Tomazik, P5. Hampshire picking up that P4 spot right at the end. I try not to watch for shenanigans here. Bruce Hopkins going to take P6. Your boy Blue, P7. We await Steven Music and Michael Zwanenberg to come across the line. There it is. How did we get a flip here at the end for 9 and 10? DJ Stevens, Michael Zwanenberg coming across the line 9th and 10th, respectively. The race winner, Robert Hepburn. Now let's, if we can't, look to get ourselves switched over to the pro. Okay, so I hope is in the middle of qualifying. What do you think overall, Phil? Great race from those guys, huh? Today?
It was a good race. Kyalami at night is tough. It is a very unforgiving circuit. I think everybody that was able to finish should definitely, give yourself some credit where credit is due. It's a tough one.
Yep, absolutely. We get things fired up here and ready to go for race number 2. Trying to get things set here. Always hard switching.
Yeah, it's actually probably a good idea. I probably should switch over myself. Still looking at pit wall.
But I'm telling you what, sir, I'm going to take... Why is that still doing that? Thank you. I'm going to take a quick step away. There's about 3-4 minutes left here. I just need a quick moment. And then I will be right back for the start of this race. We'll get our grid walk started. I can't believe these guys are so far into qualifying already. Let's get the times up before I take a step away. There you have it, 141 flat for John Gray with a 141.5 for Anthony Anderson. John Gray, the silver class driver.
Yeah.
Leading.
Aston Martin. Aston Martin. I mean, quick in a straight line. But yeah, anyway.
Still. I will be right back, sir.
Yep. We're just looking through the quali data while Molson's away. So we got Gray, Anderson, Burkhoff, top of the timesheets right now, but we still have 3 minutes, 13 seconds left in qualifying. Let me actually pop on over to here real quick and see if I can get my broadcast app refreshed. Vodek, I'm sorry to hear that about your wheel, man. I think you were the one that was posting whether or not you could get the True Force working with the G923. I am unfamiliar with anything using the True Force platform. I started racing on a G29 that is like, at this point, like, I don't know, like a 15-year-old steering wheel platform. So Anderson taking the top spot with a 41.020. So this is kind of what I was expecting. I'm waiting to see if Dimitri Othwal in the lead 992 car can punch inside the 40s. Getting a time in the 40s would actually be pretty good. Pretty good pace around here. Charlie Booth, currently 42.047. Gonna need to find some pay. Actually, off track now. He's running out of time. He's not gonna be able to make it back out. Yeah, he better book it, because he's gonna cross the line with. Yeah, he's got no shot at making it to a flyer. He'll have to cut the course to. Yeah, I don't think Charlie Booth's gonna make it around. Majority of the field in the pits. Tubes, sorry to hear that, ma'am. Hopefully at least you can enjoy the broadcast. We'll see you next week for Valencia. Christoph Arts in the 296, car 36 off track. Well, I actually put it P5 with a 41.517, which is 2/1000ths of a second off of Mike Burkhoff.
I see in my absence, Anthony Anderson has taken up pole position.
Yep. And it's close to punching into the 4.0s, which I would actually say would be really good pace for this field.
Absolutely.
So I'm kind of interested to see if anyone's going to be able to make another play for it. Anthony Anderson off track on his last final lap, goes to the pits.
Well, good mix
So he's
here too.
done.
John Gray, Mike Burkhoff, both up in the top 5 to start this race. Jace Wright right there as well. Brandon Pfeiffer going to start in P9, in P4 in class. This qualifying comes to an end here. But really mixed up in this session between the classes.
Adam, I would not beat yourself up, dude. Mistakes happen.
Take a look real quick. Speaking of silver, Brandon Pfeiffer, John Gray, and Mike Burkhoff all tied right now at 97 points apiece for 1, 2, and 3.
Yep.
Miko Lepola in 4th and Jace Wright in 5th. See Miko down there. Miko qualifying low today in comparison to the rest of the field, compared to where he is in the standings. Let's talk about pro. Matt Damon. I didn't see Matt Damon on the list. Looks like missing today's race. Currently in 1st. 1 point ahead of Anthony Anderson, who at this point is qualifying in 1st. I see nobody else showing purple. It looks like he's going to hold on to that spot as qualifying comes to an end. Tom Foose in 3rd. Francesco Mendel in 4th, and Charlie Booth in 5th. That's because Charlie Booth cheats with the flying car and whatnot.
Mr. John Gixer in the 64 car, the 296 on track. I've known Gixer for almost as long as I've been sim racing.
Wow.
Which at this point is going on 6 years, I think.
Jeez. You're doing this a lot longer than I have.
Yep. Started racing on console when I had hip surgery. Yes, fat old pixel. I do race from time to time. Right now, I mostly just do iRacing special events with the old 949 gang, because those guys I've been racing with since I started racing. But yeah, I do race, and I've raced in ACC as well.
Not only does he race, he's like wicked fast.
I'm not wicked fast.
Hurt near guarantee you're faster than I am, so to me that's wicked fast.
Just very, very knowledgeable. Well, I mean, I think the knowledgeable bit comes from watching as much racing as I do in ACC in particular, because I've been broadcasting ACC for almost 4 years now, I think. Maybe. I might have those dates wrong. At least 3 years. At least 3 years. Easy.
The grid for today's pro and silver class race. Right here we go. Tom Foose. What is it doing?
It has lost its marbles, my man.
It has definitely lost its marbles.
Position for, what is that? 474,000. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Impressive.
Definitely lost its mind today. And it's not moving, and it's supposed to move. So
yeah,
we're going to stop it. Maybe.
Stop.
There we go. It stopped.
Get some help.
Right? Like, try it one more time. I don't know if it's going to work or not. That's very strange. I've never seen that before. See if it does it this time. Nope. It just stopped.
Today's grid.
This time it just shut itself down. Well, we'll go through it. I don't mind. Started up top in row 1. Anthony Anderson, John Gray, Dimitri Athwal, John Gixer sharing row 2. Wait.
Yep.
Okay, I'm making sure. I want to make sure my ACC TV isn't all screwed up here. Row 3 will be Mike Burkhoff, Tobias Gable. We have row 4, Christoph Arts and Tom Foose. Jace Wright, Retro Coffin returns. I guarantee you he's letting the mullet drive today. Will be row 5.
30 seconds.
Row 6, Brandon Pfeiffer, Timothy Glendinning, Matt Comiskey, Charlie Booth in row 7. Rocky Rocco, Jared Skinner in row 8. Miko Lepela and Andrew Haynes in row 9. Louis Ricard, Justin Van Weiser in row 10. I'm not saying Clueless's name. And Terry Driscoll are in row 11. Drew Burakovsky, Justin Seckham in row 12 with Rob Kesar and Vatic in row 13, excuse me. And Ridian Lloyd Davis bringing up the back of the pack to start today's race.
Looks like we are
formation lap underway.
off and rolling.
So what are you looking at for this particular race, Bill?
I mean, Anderson right now seems to have that Lamborghini planted. So I think it's going to be all about consistency for Anthony, and converting that pit stop is going to be key in this field. Because for the folks that don't watch a lot of sprint racing, in particular, when you start to get towards the top end of the field, things like meta and stuff like that can start to influence the performance of races. But the thing that I find is a definite place where you kind of have to be on your A game is in your pit stops, because you can gain or lose a lot of time in pit stops. 3-4 seconds to just leave on a table is not what you want in a sprint race like that. Because whereas an endurance race, a mistake like that might be recoverable inside like 24 hours. You got an hour.
Yeah.
That's a lot of time to lose in an hour. Dimitri Othwal, top 992 qualifier in this field, was the top qualifier in class setting. Has not had the luckiest of races. Are we going to see a 992 get lucky, finally have luck swing their way like we just saw with Hepburn in the Pro-Am category? We'll see. John Jixer, super solid guy. Good clean racer, good hard racer too. I'm going to be interested to see what he can do. I kind of want to see Tobias punch that R8 up inside the top 5 and leave it there. Like I kind of want to see that, because Tobias definitely knows how to set that car up, and I think that Audi R8 is kind of out of place performing in this field. So let's see what he can do.
Good on him getting it up there. And Anderson leads us out. I'm with, honestly, I'd like to see Anderson take this. Anderson's been pushing hard. This is a driver that's been racing with us for a long time when it comes to the Box 3. And what did it just do here? And I would very much like to see him get himself jumped up into that first, take a podium and see where that takes him points wise. With Matt Damon not here, obviously a huge opportunity. He only trails by 1 point, but he also only leads Tom Foose and Francesco Mendel by 1 point. I do not see Mendel on track today. Tom Foose is out there, however. Robotic, John Gray, and Drew Burakovsky all starting from the pits this race.
Might be involving. Might be trying to play the odds, because right now we've got 3 wide already on approach to turn 1. Looks like Tobias Gable has got a rocket ship in that R8 per usual.
Gable up into 3rd just like that. 3 wide. And keeping it clean through that corner. Wow. I am showing some contact on Rocky Rocco.
The next 2 corners are where it's gonna, if it's gonna fall apart, it's gonna be at barbecue. But it looks really clean. Looks relatively clean.
And even the contact that I think we are seeing is no one's been off track yet. I've seen no yellow flags whatsoever. Timothy Glendenning battling Charlie Booth. Gable, I think, with the best jump at the start of this race, gets himself into third just that quickly.
Straight line speed on the R8 is just ridiculous, and it shows. Gixxer looks like he might have lost a little bit of ground on the start. Christoph Art's in front. Mike Burkhoff not that far off of Tobias Gable.
See that, just catching up with that now. Jace Wright has to deal with Tom Foose right there. Charlie Booth, Rocky Rocco continue to trade positions. Yeah, my software definitely lost its mind right now.
Oh, has it?
I think so.
I mean, I'm looking at it right now. I'm looking at it right now.
It's doing the position changes. Charlie Booth and Rocky Rocco went back and forth 3 times, and the arrows didn't show up. So, I don't know. We'll see.
The field right now is pretty tight, all the way back to P10. Like everybody's within, well, with the exception of Tobias losing a little bit of ground to Dimitri Othwal. It's about a half second. John Gixxer starting to lose a little bit of ground to Christoph Arts.
Penalty for the 992 car.
I believe that was Keesar, right?
Yep, Rob Keesar. Yes, sir.
That was a drive-through penalty at the start of the race. Could have been for being out of place or driving too fast.
Andrew Haynes losing a ton of positions. We've got contact as Burakovsky just sits off the side of the track right now. Looks like contact may have been with Vadik. John Gixxer trying to keep Jace Wright, Tom Foose held back. Timothy Glendenning deal with Jarrett Skinner. Glendenning, another Audi driver.
Kind of like focused in right now.
Jarrett
with,
Skinner dropping quickly. Aye. Let's go back and see what happened to Skinner. I didn't see any contact. Whoa, off the wall. I think it might be good that he is right there in front of the pit.
That is unfortunate. Did he catch the curb?
I'm not sure. He would not go back quite far enough. But
I think he was already past control on.
Yeah, definitely spun himself into the wall right there. John Gray taking up P21 over Andrew Haynes.
It's going to be some rough damage for Jarrett.
Yeah, it kind of looked like I kind of expected the replay to end and to see him in the pits, but he elected to stay out. This is what we talk about, I think, Phil, when we talk about the what we're loving, what I'm loving so far about season 6 is this. I know we're only on lap 2, right? Some of the cars on lap 3. Look at how tight this field is.
Yeah, it's starting to spread out a little bit at the front. Anthony Anderson right now has the 16 Get Cal Racing Lambo on rails at this point. Because he's got the gap to Dimitri at 2 seconds. It could be a matter of like a little bit of conservation from Dimitri's perspective. Maybe he's trying to push a little bit long for a first stint, but he's dropping a lot of pace on the ground compared to Anthony Anderson.
Okay.
Relative to the rest of the field, though, you are absolutely correct. There are less than a half-second battles
everywhere,
up and down the grid. Somebody who I was actually expecting to qualify higher than I believe he qualified 9th was B Fife. B5 has been really strong all season. Qualified ninth. Retro Coffin looks like he might have got the jump on him at the start of the race. I have to go back and watch the replay to be sure on that. Right now, 7/10 back from Coffin, but 1.5 seconds ahead of Glendenning. So I'm interested to see what B5 can do.
I think a lot of people are interested to see how B5 does every race, specifically because this is his rookie season on PC ACC. He's been racing Xbox for a long time. Finally made the jump over to the PC world and has been doing very well so far. As you were saying, he has now closed that gap on Retro Coffin.
Just looking at the field. Fife is starting to catch up to Coffin, though. 3/10.
Ooh.
Does look like he is starting to close in a little bit.
What happened here? Let's back up 30. So let's take it back 30 seconds real quick. Miko Lepla, Justin Van Visor coming together. Van Visor heading into the pits. Miko Lepla throws it across that curb. We've seen it more than once and scoops up Van Visor right there. Van Visor decides, probably best if I just head into the pits now. Wow. Brutal. I think that curb. And now suddenly Tobias Gable is in 6th. And
yeah,
now
something must
7th.
happen.
What happened here?
Still waiting for a little bit more of the data to show up. Maybe I can go in and check a look at these lap averages.
Fife putting a ton of pressure on Coffin. They've traded spaces 3 or 4 times. Gable again getting, I think, a little bump from Jace Wright. After a great start, Gable now in 7th, right ahead of Tom Foose.
I mean, he had a great start. Got up into 3rd, dropped down to 4th. Looks like he's recovering, and that's good. That's good to see. Right now, man, I'm still kind of like focused in on this fight between Fife and Coffin.
These guys have now caught Tobias Gable. There's something as Tom Foose gets clear of Gable, but these guys have now caught Tobias Gable. The great part is Fife doesn't even have to race Coffin if he doesn't want to. I mean, he's got to make his way forward. Or I should say that really Coffin doesn't have to race Fife, right? But I know Fife is fast. I also believe that Tobias Gable is faster, and these guys have now caught him.
I don't know if that's necessarily true.
No?
I think Fife has been getting to grips with that Lambo, and I feel like the Bop has kind of like gone a little bit in his direction, whereas the R8 is kind of like fallen back.
Okay.
In the current meta. So if they're both racing like fast and consistent, and if the drivers themselves are consistent with each other on pace alone, the Lamborghini should outrun the R8 on the average, because it's just got a better minimum corner speed, whereas the R8 is faster in a straight line. The thing that I'm kind of just curious about here is Rocky Rocco sideways.
Yeah, we're going to go back and look at this one again because I have a feeling it's going to be the same thing that we've watched happen several times. Nico Lepla, yep, right there. Multiple cars off track. I don't know who the other one is.
I believe that is that was Vodek.
Oh, and then and a bad re-entry. Rocky Rocco.
Well, I mean,
hey, he was out. He was off the circuit and then made a bad re-entry.
Well, I mean the thing, that entry was probably suboptimal. The part that really caught him out is the car that went into him and lost the rear end, and rather than it being able to consistently move over onto the racing line for the entry into the final corner, the driver didn't have control of the car.
Yeah.
So it unfortunate for all involved, but yeah, probably should have been a little bit more conservative on the rejoin. But to be honest, that car I think would have hit him even where he was off the track. I think the reason why it shot him over to the other side of the track was because Rocky had started to roll forward.
Gotcha. So Brandon Pfeiffer continues chase Retro Coffin.
Yeah.
Coffin doing really well on defense. Phil, I want to check with you. Do you need a break or anything, sir? It's been a long day. I'll make sure you don't need
Negative.
anything. Gotcha.
Negative. I'm looking at this data right now because I'm trying to kind of make heads or tails as to what's going on here. We've had enough cars kind of like shuffle around since the start of the race without, to be honest, a lot of actual like lap 1, lap 2 collisions that the average data is kind of like floating all over the place. Because take, for example, Tobias Gable started the race off, rocket ships up to third from his qualifying position, and then drops to an average lap pace of like a 43.3 over 7 laps. To give you an idea of where that is relative to Mike Burkhoff, Burkhoff's running a 42.3.
Okay.
So Burkhoff's like a second faster now. So I'm trying to make heads or tails as to kind of what's happening. Why is Tobias's pace falling like a stone? And that definitely could be a contributing factor, because scrubbing those tires like that is going to make driving that thing around less than pleasant.
Yeah, well, just caught that out and now see that he is P11. We've got, who is that? That is Vatic is parked off the side. I think that's the one that's been sitting there.
So Vatic was talking before the race and looked like they were having some trouble with their hardware.
Oh, okay.
And what I'm kind of curious is, have they got that sorted? Are they trying to sort that out now while being off track at the corner of Cheetah? The one thing that they should definitely consider, though, is that if they're having trouble, get the car to the pits if they can. That's the thing is if the wheel's fully disconnected, he can't drive. So it might be an idea. It might be time to return to garage and try and troubleshoot the issue out there. Because if you stay on track like that and somebody runs into you, it's going to be race ending for both of you.
Yeah. Dimitri Athwal fighting for third right now over Christoph Arts.
Yeah, that's another one that I'm still trying to get a handle on the average lap time data, because Arthwal Dimitri.
Oh my. Hold on, Phil. Sorry to interrupt you, man. We got to go back here. The camera guy can't handle it. I believe Clueless and Andrew Haynes coming together out here, or another incident at this corner.
Yep, Cheetah. The curb at Cheetah.
Right there. Oh, that's what it was.
Oh, no.
Clueless backing out onto the track. Another bad rejoin, and Andrew Haynes getting scooped up and instantly dumping back to the pits. Get back caught up with John Gixer.
That is really unfortunate.
Yep. Jace Wright and Tom Foose coming to battle now.
So, like, I was talking about Dimitri Athwal in the 33. Just really struggle bussing around. In fact, has dropped now to P3 relative to Mike Burkhoff. Christoph Arts at 42.5, Athwal of 42.7, so 42.75. So about 3/10 almost between them. So it's going to be interesting. Athwal seems to be just dropping off a little bit in pace.
Paddock now into the pits. So that car will be off track. Andrew Haynes and Clueless both in the pits. Drew Burakovsky is in the pits. I think that race is over for certain people. PG in chat saying it's purely a skill issue and nothing else. I struggle to believe that.
I don't believe that as well. Don't believe that as well. Tom Foose in the YCR M4 up into P7, 4/10, now 5/10 off of Jace Wright. Very good to see. Good close racing here in the battle for P5, looks like.
Another race was just tight racing all the time. Jace Wright, Tom Foose, Retro Coffin, Brandon Pfeiffer continue this battle that has been going on pretty much since lap 1 or 2 and refuses to give up. Fife up the inside. Retro going way wide, and Fife able to finally lock it down, at least for now, as he takes up P8 over Retro Coffin. Very cleanly, and a nice, no opportunity for Retro to strike back at that point. Just off Art's Dimitri Athwal up there for P3. Art's closing the gap.
Let me look at Gixxer 42715. Christoph Artso's got such good pace right now. I think Gixxer's going to have to figure something out if he's going to try to catch back up.
Yeah.
Jace Wright falling to Tom Foose. Going to have a battle on his hands with B5 here in a minute.
Well, B5 right now struggling to stay ahead of Jace Wright. And now it seems we may see this battle start over in the opposite form, with B5 now leading the way and Retro Coffin sitting on that back bumper.
Fat old pixel, maybe it was wrong to have this race on a full moon.
And Retro Coffin has reclaimed P8. For now, can he keep it? Again, secured for now, but this has been a great battle this whole race so far. 11 laps in. Timothy Glendinning may now be joining the party. Just over 40 minutes left to go in the Pro and Silver class race you are watching today. Thank you so much for being here, everyone. Love race day. Glendinning, I wasn't even paying attention from him. I was looking at something else, and Glendinning did get around Fife. And now Fife will have to contend with not only trying to take back P9, but Charlie Booth is coming up behind this group. And Charlie's certainly no slouch.
Booth is no slouch. Had a bit of a weak qualifying here at Kyalami, but definitely seems like he's picking up the pace a little bit around here. So it could be that Charlie Booth has a little bit of pace in hand for the race. Last lap for him was 43.245. So he's running more Fife's pace right now relative to the field. So we're gonna see what Charlie can do with Timothy Glendinning. Although Glendinning is in the R8, so I suspect that that Porsche is going to have trouble down start finish straight.
Well, he is in the Audi, so with everything that's happened with Tobias today, we have to assume that Glendinning is going to win the race, right? Because he's in the Audi? Isn't that how that works?
I mean, that has never really worked in any format whatsoever when you're dealing with multiple manufacturers, but you can continue to believe that's okay. How's it going, Mr. Jake Wells? Hope you're doing well. Just looking again at the data right now, looking at people that are fast on track, and somebody just popped out. There's definitely a signal in the noise here, and that is Tom Foose in the M4. Last lap was a 41.730.
Wow.
Last lap from Anthony Anderson was a 41.995. So Tom Foose, even in P6, pumping in some quick ones. And it does look like he's got the pace to catch John Jixer right now. So we might have a fight brewing on our hands for P5.
Perfect. Probably Booth backing off a little bit as Fife tries to reapply pressure to Glendinning. With that, sir, I'm going to take another quick step away.
Absolutely.
And
I'm going to sit here and watch the data while we all watch the stream together.
Absolutely.
Should be fun.
Louis Ricard and hold on a second. Looks like Louis Ricard and John Gray coming together as John Gixer heads into the pits to make that stop. Louis Ricard now heading into the pits as well. All right, so I shall return.
Absolutely. So, again, watching this Charlie Booth right now on the charge from P10, trying to catch B Fife. They're running comparable numbers, 42.642 last lap from Fife, 42.625 from Booth. So, comparable numbers. So it's going to be I think it's going to be a good hard fight between these two. Really looking forward to it. Anderson is running pretty strong right now. That is for certain. In terms of pace, last lap 42.000 for Anderson, so 0.6 up on Burkhoff, almost 0.7. Just looking at more of this data here, Tom Foose still kind of running pretty quick relative to the field. You hope Anthony I'm pretty sure Anthony will see this. I'm pretty sure Anthony will watch the VOD for sure. We're almost at the halfway point. 36 minutes. 36 minutes and excuse me. Right dashboard here. 36 minutes exactly now. Hello, Hannah. How are you doing? Did you know that Jake Wells is a gentleman and a scholar? I hope that one plays in big. Earn you some credits. He says nothing but nice things about you on stream. Very lucky, says he caught lightning in a bottle. All that stuff. Let's Tom Foose again, a 41.937. So Tom Foose at the 27 is kind of like sticking out like a sore thumb in this field. It does look like Christoph Arts is going to have a fight on his hands if Tom Foose does close this 2.3 second. What the hell? These guys don't know you. I mean, I think I know you pretty well, Jake. I think you're a pretty stand-up dude. Miko Lepola in the number 15. Let's check in with Miko right now. What's his race looking like? So Miko right now has pulled the trigger on the pit stop. So mandatory pit stops cleared for Miko. A 133 though, 876. So that is not optimal in terms of pit stop time. Absolutely. So here's the thing, man. It is sad to not see you on track, but it is very good to hear that you're spending time with family, because indeed, real life is more important than sim racing by a long shot. Retro Coffin taking the detour, looked like at the entry to Clubhouse, might have just caught someone out on that entry. Didn't look like a unsafe rejoin, but the thing in Sector 2 in particular is the twisty nature of it. People are on the wide side of the track on a corner exit and then immediately move to the inside quickly for the next corner entry. It is a tricky circuit for sure. So Retro Coffin trying to get put back together as he's got, looks like Timothy Glendenning and Charlie Booth looming large in the background. As soon as Molson gets back, we'll do the Anthony Anderson onboard. I don't have control of the thing. Oh yeah, when the time fits is when it's important. The thing I'll say right now is it is a very interesting field we got right now as we hit this halfway point. It does look like Dimitri's going to run to the pits right now. He's going to try and put on some new shoes, maybe close the gap down a little between him and Mike Burkhoff. Anthony Anderson and Mike Burkhoff have yet to pit. So have Christoph Arts, Tom Foose, looks like Jace Wright, although is Wright? No, Jace Wright's not in. Not yet. Rocky Rocco had a shocking start to the front of this race. What time is he doing? He is doing a 42.575 right now. His average, let's talk about Anthony Anderson's average. So compared to Mike Burkhoff, who's running P2. By the way, if I wanted to go back to the next driver in pro category close to Anthony Anderson, actually, this would be real good to figure out. So Anthony Anderson right now running 42.235 on the average. Dimitri Othwal was running a 42.593 on the average. Let's watch the stopwatch for Othwal's pit. Looks like he is leaving not too much time on the table. 103.783. I probably put that about 1 to probably less than 1.5 seconds off the fastest time I've seen this week. But yeah, waiting to see what Anthony Anderson does when he pulls the trigger on the pit stop.
As requested on board with Anthony Anderson.
He's going to stay out another lap. Lucky you. I was going to laugh so hard if like you switch to the onboard and then he dives into the pit box. Like that would have been hilarious.
We want to stay on board with him when he goes into the pit, see if he pulls another penalty.
That would be very unlucky for Ando. That would be very, very unlucky. In terms of pace right now, man, the one to watch, you got to watch Tom Foose. He's running numbers that are as fast or faster than Ando right now. Christoph Arts, I think, is going to have some trouble if he doesn't really pick up the pace after the pit stop. Mm-hmm. Dimitri Othwal did go back into the pits. He is currently the lead car who has completed the mandatory pit stop, sitting in P11 behind Matt Comiskey in the number 5. Dimitri did have a decent pit stop, though, a 103.783. I don't see anything in the data that tells me if he is... I don't see anything that suggests that he has got a any kind of pit stop penalty or anything like that.
You know, I'm going to admit it, Phil, while we're sitting here watching Anderson's onboard as these pit stops start to roll through. You know, half the time I come back in and I just sit and listen to you talk for a few minutes, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I just like listening to you. I think everybody else does too. So that's why I try to shut up and let it be the Phil show.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. The thing that I enjoy definitely with our back and forth here in the commentary booth is that I do enjoy a little bit of the measured pace, and you're very observant. You got a very measured pace. Meanwhile, I have like one gear, and that's like overdrive, so I sound like a hyperactive squirrel when I talk. So I do appreciate the pace difference, because having two hyper people in the booth probably would be overwhelming to just about everyone on Earth.
I know, it'd be nutty.
So,
looks like Coffin and Foose have both headed into the pits now. Still waiting on Anderson to head in.
Anthony running long. I'm actually not shocked about this, although he just had a bit of a moment on the exit of Sunset. I thought he was about to have a big moment. He's running wide pretty much everywhere. I wonder if the tires have finally just let go. Somebody who is in P4 going into the pits right now, John Gray. I was expecting to see John. Actually, he's not going to the pits. I was expecting to see him a little bit further up the field, but looked like he started from the pits or something happened.
Yeah.
But I can't. I'm gonna have to go back and watch the replay to find out what happened to John. But John had a really good qualifying, so right now he's about 8 seconds back from Jace Wright. So it's going to be a bit of a fight. Tom Foose going for that undercut against Christoph Arts. You want to pay attention to him. You want to pay attention to Othwall in relation to Burkhoff. Actually, Burkhoff has already stayed out in front of Othwall in the pits, although Tom Foose has leapfrogged Mike Burkhoff in the pits. Am I reading that right?
Yeah, but Burkhoff and Othwall both right there chasing Foose down. So far, the gap's kind of maintained. It was gotten a little short there for a bit, but now has opened to back up just a tad.
Yeah, but the key here is that if that's accurate, if the broadcast app is not lying to us, that means Foose leapfrogged two people in the pit stops.
Okay, gotcha.
And we haven't even seen Christoph Arts go into the pits yet, so it could be 3 in the pits. But yeah, Foose, 103.047 in the pits, a really good pit stop, a 103.338 for Burkhoff, and then a 103.783 for Othwall. So again, these pit stop margins, so important when it comes to maintaining position on track.
And we really started seeing that during season 5, right? I mean, we saw a ton of that in season 5. And now that is continuing, where those pit stop numbers are really important. I think, to your point, you've got to go into the pits. If you don't want your pit stop, or if you need to make a mistake during a pit stop, you better go into the pits at least 4 to 5 seconds ahead of the person you're trying to stay out in front of.
Yeah,
all it takes is that one slip, and those seconds are gone very quickly.
Yeah, but here's the thing though, like a 3 to 4 second advantage going into the pits and then bottling it may not necessarily keep you in the clear, because you're going to come out, the gap is going to be closed to the car that's chasing you, you're on cold tires, assuming that car pitted before you, they've got warmer tires than you, so they've got better grip, and then suddenly you're scrapping on cold tires, which leads to graining, which leads to sliding, which leads to degradation, and suddenly your entire second stint is blown because you bottled the pit stop. We've seen that sort of thing happen in races where one mistake kind of sets this like failure cascade where all of a sudden like the entire second half of the race is just lost for some people. But it does look like Tom Foose, Burkhoff, and Dimitri Othwall are keeping pace to Tom Foose. So Tom Foose might have been able to jump these guys in the pits, but may have a fight on his hands now to hang on to this P4 spot.
Just our top 3 now to clear that pit stop: Anthony Anderson, Christoph Arts, Jace Wright. Absolutely insane. This racing is so fantastic. I'm so upset I missed last week. I really wanted to be here. I love Laguna Seca, so I really wanted to be here. So I'm glad. I'm just happy to be back at it this week. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a heck of a show. Laguna was a heck of a show. This race is turning out to be a heck of a show because, I mean, let's talk about right now. If you add 16 seconds to the 44 seconds that Tom Foose is behind Jace Wright, Christoph Arts is not going to make it out ahead of Tom Foose. It's not going to happen. So I don't know what Christoph Arts' game plan is, but he better get with it if he wants to stay out in front of Tom Foose. We do have Anthony Anderson going in the pits. Kind of interested to see where Ando exits the pits relative to Tom Foose. Tom Foose right now is a man possessed in terms of lap pace. Although Mike Burkhoff has picked it up, 42.215 last lap, 42.345 for Tom Foose. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, very much so. Just keeping a focus on Anderson here to see how his pit stop goes and where he is going to pop out in relation to Foose.
Yeah, I've got eyeballs on Ando in the pits.
Okay. Mike Burkhoff under pressure from Dimitri Athwell. We'll go take a look there in just a moment. Anderson now heading out.
Yep. So he does get out in front of that crew, and a really good, looks like it might be a really good pit stop for Ando. I'm going to jump in real quick just to take a look at that.
I think he learned his lesson last week, maybe, right?
I mean, he did leave 3 seconds on the table. He did have 3 seconds. He did have more than 3 seconds to spare, but he is getting out after putting a 106.720 on that pit stop. So now it's going to be interesting to see where this all shakes out, because Tom Foose is only 4 seconds back, and they've been running comparable numbers this whole race. Which has been very interesting to watch. I kind of want to go switch over to the gap chart because I kind of want to see if that gap has been closing. No, not really. Like, definitely it seems like 12 laps in, Anthony's pace leveled off relative to Tom.
Okay.
And then that gap started to close down for the next, like it started kind of, the tires dropped off for him around lap 13. And then he pitted on what would be his lap 18. So he put another 5 laps in. Didn't lose too much in terms of total time to Tom Foose, but did lose a little bit. I do want to see this, though, relative to Christoph Arts.
Miko Lepala, Jarrett Skinner battling it out for P18 now. Some great battles today with these guys.
Yeah, I don't think Christoph Arts has got it to stay out in front of Tom Foose after the pit stop. Okay. Like, I'm looking at the data between him and Tom Foose in particular. And he had already started losing pace relative to Tom Foose before Foose pitted, to the tune of, I want to say, 6 laps. So he's already losing time to Tom Foose 6 laps prior to Foose pitting. And since Foose has pitted, he's continued to lose time relative to Foose. So Christoph Arts is going to be in trouble when it comes to this pit stop, unless he can just pull out some sort of miracle. Jace Wright, Christoph Arts still yet to pit.
Mike Burkhoff and Dimitri Athwell, and there it is right there. Dimitri sneaking up the inside very quickly, taking up P5 from Mike Burkhoff. That happened wicked fast.
Yeah.
As we take a little further for P8 now, Tobias Gable has worked himself back up from being as far down, I want to say, as P12 after losing pace, and we saw a couple of off tracks. But now, Brandon Pfeiffer, Charlie Booth right there, and we might, oh, please, guys, I want to see these 3 give us a 3 wide.
You're just hurting these folks with these 3 wides into some of these corners.
Oh, come on now. These 3 can handle it. We know that. Christoph Arts and Jace Wright now both into the pits.
Yeah, I think they pushed their tank as far as they could take it. Really, I mean, they could have gone almost race distance with it, but they've got to take that 30-second pit stop anyway for the tire change. So it just makes sense for them to really kind of like not push their luck. So if I take Ando out of the mix, I'm just kind of curious relative to Arts.
B5 having a great race, up 3 spots on the day. Take a look. We haven't looked at that position delta yet throughout this race. Tom Foose. You want to talk about, I mean, you called it, right? You called pace. You called everything. Up 6 spots today. Christoph Arts right there with him, up 4. Fife, as we said, up 3. Charlie Booth up 3 spots. John Gray, the one struggling, down 10 from P2. But Terry Driscoll, same thing, having a great race, up 7. Louis Ricard up 5. Rob Kesar up 5 spots. Even
Here's the
Vatic
thing.
Is up 4.
We've got 18 minutes thereabouts left in this race, and right now the margins are pretty small between Goose and Anderson. It's really going to come down to navigating the traffic, maintaining your focus, because I really think we've got enough time left in this race with where they pitted relative to one another that we shouldn't see tire degradation play too much of a factor. But right now, there's a 2/10 advantage in Foose.
Well, right now, Tobias Gable is dealing with a trainload of cars behind him. Brandon Pfeiffer, Jace Wright, Retro Koff, and Charlie Booth coming together. Gable, I think Fife gave Gable just a little tap on the back end to say either get it going or I'm taking it. Again, 2 drivers who don't really need to be racing each other due to class, but Fife definitely wanting to stay ahead of Jace Wright at this point. And Coffin and Booth battling it out. And now John Gray is joining into the wagon train.
Somebody else to keep your eye on right here in this mix. John Gixer is what is it? Running about 2/10 faster than Tobias Gable, so he's going to continue to open this gap up. Relative to the rest of the field, the next fastest person in this pack right now, D5 running what, a 43.4 to Tobias Gable's 43.5.
Oh wow! Okay.
Retro Coffin, 43.0.
Wow.
So Retro has got something in there.
Yeah, he does.
He's got something in there. I think it's a mullet.
It is. He lets the mullet drive the car.
I think it's all what is it? He's got rear hair drive. As opposed to rear engine drive.
Wow. Okay, I got you. B5 running real wide right there, letting Gable take the spot back.
I think that was just a matter of being offline, being in the marbles. We got cars. Is that a car off track? Like, it looked like it the way the camera cut over real fast. I couldn't tell.
I missed that one.
Yeah.
I don't. Oh yeah, the number 139 car is stopped on track.
Yeah, this is a wild battle. This is the spiciest of them all. 41.8 for Tom Foose, 41.8 for Anthony Anderson.
Yeah, Jace Wright able to take it from Brandon Pfeiffer. Tobias Gable getting a little bit of a breather there as Fife tried to hold Wright at bay and just was not able to. So now Retro Coffin, the Retro Coffin and Brandon Pfeiffer show continues here. Just over 15 minutes left in the race today. As things have calmed down just a bit for these guys.
That's the case. If that gap in front, if that's the case, it looks like something happened to Tom, because that gap opened back up. It was under 4 seconds. Now it's up 4.5 seconds.
Yep.
Something must have happened.
Tobias Gable now coming under pressure, this time not from Brandon Pfeiffer, but Jace Wright. Gonna apply it.
Retro's going to have a bit of a battle on his hands with John Gray.
Mm-hmm.
That Aston Martin is going to stretch its legs when they get down the start-finish straightaway. Oh, my goodness. Lewis Rickard getting sick. Had to drop out of the race. Feel better, my dude.
Oh, wow.
Sim racing ain't worth it. Sim racing ain't worth it, man.
Take a break, man.
Go lay down. Go check your temperature. Go hydrate. Just take care of yourself, man.
John, we got to jump ahead a little bit for P5. John Gixer on the back end of Mike Burkhoff now. Has Burkhoff lost pace?
Burkhoff has lost pace relative to field. Yeah, his last lap was a 41.195, which is not going to be able to keep Gixer behind with that. Gixer's last lap was a 42.512. So, yeah, Burkhoff, just relative to one another, that gap has just fallen.
Let's back this up about 30 seconds, though, because Tobias Gable and Jace Wright are just going back and forth.
Cameraman losing his marbles a little bit.
And a little off track there during this fight from Tobias.
Hello, Vadik. I'm Philip. How are you doing? Your wheel was giving you problems, man. Sorry to hear that. Would have loved to see the Bentley. See you bring home the Bentley this round.
So Tobias Gable again. I wonder if this track is just. I wonder if Kyalami is just not Tobias's track.
It could be Kyalami. It could be Kyalami at night. It could be the setup. He could have gone for a more straight line speed setup, in which case Sector 2 is going to punish him pretty hard.
Okay. I guess what I'm saying is, and again, you've got the data. You got the actual data, right? But TG's usually a really consistent driver, and it seems like he's struggling with that consistency today, right?
Sure. Here, let me see if I can break it down in a way that makes a little bit of sense. Let me find Tobias real quick. Let's see here. Yeah, so it's been basically downhill from the start of the race, like for Tobias in terms of lap times. Actually, you know what? That's unfair. Like he's been keeping it close to the 42s.
Okay.
It's just he's had some moments. He's got a 46.9 in there, a 48.1. He's just got these moments where it kind of like he has an off track or something, and then he loses ground relative to the field. So the cars in front of him may be a little bit slower than where he qualified relative to him. He loses pace. It's just kind of like a falling backwards kind of thing.
Yeah. But again, still, I gotta say, not used to seeing that with TG at all, right?
Yeah.
I think that's something that typically happens with him. Vadik, welcome into our chat. Good to see you here. In fact, Vadik, I would love, obviously you're probably a member of the Discord. You joined us for the race. You know what I would love? If you could please send me a phonetic spelling of, a phonetic spelling of your name.
Yeah. Because
I would love to get it right, and I am scared to death to even say it on this stream because I know it's going to be horrid if I do. Not because your name is horrid, but because I can't pronounce that. I don't know how to, I don't even know where to start.
Here's the thing. I think the phonetic pronunciation is gonna catch you up too, because
probably, yeah.
I mean, just me even looking at that and trying to go through it slowly, syllable by syllable, it's tough. Like, is it Ode Statsityev? which of course I can't do the sit like quickly enough because
Yeah.
I'm an American, so
Same.
already like lingual dumb.
Exactly.
So
And then
anyway.
in comes Mr. King through with this. And that, yeah, no, not going to happen there. I don't even know where to go with that.
Anthony Anderson has picked up the pace relative to Foose, and now he's
I see
holding Foose off at about 5 seconds. So it looks like Anderson doing a little bit of pace management early in the race. Once the threat kind of materialized, definitely seems like Anderson's got the pace in hand to hold off Foose. But Foose right now, 1.3 seconds off of Christoph Arts. Arts is on the charge, though. Last lap, 41.785. And that gap is closing. You can see it on the stream. It's down to about 1 second. So Christoph Arts starting to catch.
John Gixer getting around Mike Burkhoff. Did you see that little shimmy shake we had going? Looks like Burkhoff had a little struggle there. Although, again, that looked like he just basically gave up that spot. He doesn't need to fight him. Burkhoff is right now first in class. There's no need. He just has to watch that he doesn't lose too much pace and let Jace Wright catch up at this point.
Here's the thing. Burkhoff doing that, I'm stunned. I've never seen Burkhoff give up a spot. I don't think he doesn't give up a spot in the line at the grocery store. He doesn't give up like if he has a dog name spot, he's not putting it up for adoption. Like it's just that's not how Burkhoff rolls. So that's kind of out of character. I'm gonna be on team having a bit of a moment with the rear end of that car.
And the board just lit up with contact. John Gray, Charlie Booth, Brandon Pfeiffer, Tobias Gable. Somehow Retro Coffin doesn't get tagged in that. And a new purple lap for Christoph Arts at a 1:41.405 for the race. These four drivers right here, though, this from P8 with Gable all the way back to, I would say, John Gray. Now the gap between Fife and Booth has opened up to 2 seconds, but still, this group of 5 drivers or 5 or 6 drivers have just been on each other this entire last half of this race.
Yep. And now we got 8/10 between Christoph Arts and Tom Foose, so the tables have turned. In fact, Christoph Arts just set the fastest lap with a 41.405 in the race. Mm-hmm. So Christoph Arts is on the move. The 36.296 is moving.
That gap just dropped to 0.3. We're going to jump up there because this is the fight for P2 with just under 7 minutes left to go. It literally went from 1 second to 0.3 seconds. So... yeah, again, going back to Burkhoff, I don't know why he gave up that spot, but I cannot, unless he's just, I don't know, is he tired? But now the problem is Jace Wright has closed to within 4/10.
Yeah, it is. Everything is all starting to kind of compress down as we get into the final stages of this race. This could be down to like an incorrect guess on tire pressures, incorrect guess on fuel. I don't think it's an incorrect guess on fuel for a majority of the field because the only person that I'm seeing running really high lap times right now is Burkhoff. Last lap was a 44.767. Everyone else kind of low 43s, low 42s for the front three. Mm-hmm. But yeah, in fact, Retro Coffin, definitely a car to watch right now. Last lap was a 42.592. Retro Coffin's kind of like sticking out. So is Jace Wright, 41.810, or excuse me, now 42.810. Was a 41 in the lap before, now a 42 this lap. Jace Wright is starting to find some pace relative to the field.
Mike Burkhoff feeling it from Jace Wright right now. Pfeiffer able to get around Retro Coffin again and take up P9 behind Tobias Gable. That field is kind of spread out. We'll continue to watch the battle up front between Tom Foose and Christoph Arts for P2. So much action this season at Box 3.
Man, it's been a wild 2 races today at Kyalami. The night race certainly delivered on the drama because it's a tough course, just a tough course even in the daytime. John Gixer setting his personal fast lap of 42.1 as he's chasing down Dimitri Othwal.
Mike Burkhoff, Jace Wright door banging each other through the corners.
Yep, this is the Mike Burkhoff that I'm used to seeing. It's like you'll get this position when you crawl over my corpse for it. So it's gonna be a tough race. It's definitely not gonna come easy for Jace Wright. Christoph Arts losing a little bit of ground to Tom Foose. Gap's grown to about 0.8. The fight's still tight. B5's got a fight on his hands.
I see this. He's attacking Gable, defending against Coffin. We're gonna have to jump back there as soon as we can.
And the car that's holding the pace in this right now, last lap was a 44.167 for Coffin, but in terms of average lap pace over the stretch of the last stint, like Coffin is easy the faster car here. He's being held up.
Yeah.
John Gray, Charlie Booth, that's another one that's within 0.3, 0.4.
I think we've seen struggle from Tobias today. I think he struggles at this track. But Tobias is still Tobias. And I think he plays some really excellent defense all around.
Did you see the squeeze from Burkhoff into turn one?
And lit up with contact right away.
Burkhoff is not going to give that spot up. Going into sunset now. Burkhoff's trying to hang on to the spot, but Jace Wright is the faster car. Again, 43.577 for Jace Wright last lap, but Jace Wright does have faster machine underneath him right now. Christoph Art's on the inside of the exit of Leo Cup, but not able to get the optimal line as they go into Crocodiles.
And Jace Wright, Mike Burkhoff trading spots right now, side by side.
Jace Wright's line was, or excuse me, Tom Foose's line was compromised on the exit of Crocodiles. Wow, Jace Wright, Mike Burkhoff come together again, or it looked like it. It's just too much to follow, man. 4.10 between Foose and Arts.
Jace Wright able to jump up there.
Wow, the dive from Jace Wright, but on corner exit, had a bit of a sketchy exit, and now Mike Burkhoff has the inside line. Straight line speed, Lambo should be superior, but that exit from Jace Wright was pretty tragic.
Christoph Art's falling back now to 0.8.
This is a heck of a fight.
As John Gray continues to attack Charlie Booth for P11.
So here at Kyalami, passing opportunities, Jace Wright's gonna have to throw it up the inside into turn one. He did throw it up the inside to Ingwe. He just needs to not break as deep this time. He needs to force Burkhoff on the wide line if he wants to pass the stick. The next opportunity he's going to get, entry to the Leo Cup hairpin. That's going to be key. So let's see what he can do, because he definitely has the pace in hand relative to Mike Burkhoff, no doubt. We got a blue flag coming up. Burkhoff dives to the inside, so does Jace Wright. So really no advantage gained by either driver on corner exit.
And we are down to the final lap of this race. Let's jump up to Christoph Arts and Tom Foose again. Arts has planted himself firmly under the wing of that car and is not giving up. But, you know, Foose, I think, you know, Foose has raced with the league long enough. He doesn't come out for every season, but he typically will do endurance events and things like that. Foose is one of those drivers, much like Gable, that I'm telling you, and as Burkhoff and Wright make contact with each other again, he's one of those drivers that can play that defense. If you've gotten around him, you've earned it. Faster car or not, he's going to ensure you stay back behind him as long as possible. There's no giving up. There's no, and he makes the car the entire width of the track.
It does look like Jace Wright has made his way around Mike Burkhoff.
He has. Sorry we missed it, guys. Watching this one right now.
Tom Foose. Well, no. I'm just keeping it up to date because the broadcast app hadn't updated quite yet. But yeah, Tom Foose, man, trying to hang on, white knuckling the last lap of this race. But I think
Brandon Pfeiffer trying to take out Tobias Gable now. Retro Coffin right there to take advantage. Along
Retro
with
man
John Gray and Charlie Booth.
Retro Coffin and John Gray have just been held up by this battle. On the inside of the S is Fife throwing it up the inside.
Who's losing control there? That
Oh,
was that's Coffin. Coffin
he
with a door
recovered it,
bang. He held on, but just barely. Tobias able to get back ahead of John Gray. Catch up with Tom Foose and Christoph Arts. Looks like Foose is going to hold on for this one as Arts backs off and takes P3
Anthony
for the
Anderson.
race.
Ando, what was that during recovery drive? Didn't you ask Ando? What race was he going to take the checkered?
What I did ask him.
Yeah.
I did. As Oh, and Mike Burkhoff. Now, what is going on?
Oh no!
Yellow flags, contact across the board. Let's focus in on Mike Burkhoff and back this up 30 seconds.
Wow.
Let's pull the camera back and see exactly what's going on here. Mike Burkhoff off into the wall. Rejoins.
He's trying to rejoin here.
And slides through.
He's got and catches Cheetah. Oh no.
Yeah, catches
That's
at
just
least
unfortunate.
2 other drivers, and someone's forced into the pits. Tobias Gable's in the pits now, but I don't know who that driver was.
That is such an unfortunate sequence of events.
Very, very unfortunate here at the end of this race. Let's get down here. Terry Driscoll going to be coming across the line to take up 13th with Matt Comiskey right there. So your winner today, as you see on your screen, folks, Anthony Anderson, Tom Foose, Christoph Arts are the podium sitters with Dimitri Athwal and John Gixer rounding out the top 5. Jace Wright going to take up first in the silver class, along with Brandon Pfeiffer in second and John Gray in third. Wow. That was a hell of an ending right there.
That was a hell of an ending indeed. Indeed.
Yeah, for a whole bunch of reasons, but that was absolute nuttiness. So
looks like Tobias crossed the line in 13th. So lost position to Coffin, Glendenning, Booth, and Burkhoff.
Just sliding out there at the end and whoops. Okay.
I'm still here.
Okay.
You may have lost my face, but I'm still here. I never left. Danny Ricciardo, I never left.
There you go. Wow. That was just I'm that finish is just I'm over the top. Even Retro is back in the chat. That finish. You're right, that finish, my man.
That was wild. Yeah, there's no words. Like the race definitely delivered close combat between Tom Foose, Christoph Arts, that whole pack of cars, Jace Wright, B5, John Gray, Retro Coffin, Tobias Gable, Burkhoff getting involved in the mix there at the end. That was wild. Yeah, it was a wild race, but
it was. TG in the chat looking to ask what his pit time was today.
Pit time. Let me go get you your pit time. Give me 1 second.
Can you still get it? Because I'm not connected anymore.
Yeah, that's fine. If it disconnected, that's actually a good thing. That means that the data is still there. And by the way, if anybody wants to check it out, you can go to Pit Wall for Box 3 as well, ! Pit Wall. Data should still be live for this race.
If I did it right, I tried to do it right for you.
I appreciate it. I really appreciate that. Tobias Gable, your pit stop was a 102.755. That might have been the fastest for this race. Let's go.
I was going to say I don't remember any 101s for this race. I think we had one in the AM and Pro Am race. I don't remember one for this race.
We did. That might have been the fastest pit stop this race. I'm clicking through right now and I haven't found one faster.
DG's a speedy boy in the pits. Got those German mechanics on it.
Oh, hang on a minute. Hang on.
Oh.
I think Charlie Booth might have got him. 102.316.
Yeah, but still. A couple tenths.
I mean, that's still a phenomenal pit stop.
Yeah.
Driscoll got him as well.
Okay.
But yeah, it looks like the 102s were the fast ones. Yeah, 102s were the fast ones. Yeah, that was intense, Fife, no doubt.
But for the whole race, though, like this, it wasn't intense for just at the end for Fife and for TG and for Coffin. It was, especially for Fife and Coffin, it was almost literally the entire race. I mean, other than the pit stop, where all of them could probably let go of the iron grip for a second while the car was getting tires and fuel, I don't know how you weren't gripped up the whole time. Just craziness.
Yeah,
Oh.
it was wild. It was wild. Just looking
Mhm.
at the race as a whole, hats off, man. Anthony Anderson pumping in 41 nines on the average on that second stint. So Anthony went into the pits holding some cards that we didn't necessarily know were
Well-
left in the deck, because he definitely had some pace in hand for sure.
Get ready, Phil.
Back when I passed
Mr.
you.
Anderson.
Oh, hello. I wasn't
are you,
expecting
sir?
that move.
What a sneaky. And man, what a race for you, dude. I asked you
Oh,
I asked you on
finally got the
Thursday.
monkey off my back.
I asked you on Thursday, when are you gonna take the podium? When are you gonna take it? When are you taking the checkered? Did you think it was Kyalami? I don't remember what you said at this point. I haven't watched the show back. Did you think it was Kyalami?
He did not. He did not.
did not. I said I think I had podium pace. Like I thought I was gonna be like P2, P3 pace. I didn't expect a win today. I'll take it though. I have
Let's go.
no qualms with that.
100%. Well, listen, you're welcome to go back to your VC, man. I just wanted to jump in and congratulate. I wanted to pull you up here and just congratulate and everything, and say thank you for a great race. So
Yeah, it's been 6 seasons of fighting this monkey on my back, but it's finally done now. I hope to have it go on. I don't know about Valencia. Then again, I said that about this race, so who knows?
True.
Imola's strong for me, so I think you might see it again there. We'll see.
Perfect. Well,
Good race, man.
awesome
Thank
race.
you. Even
Awesome
though-
race, Ando.
Phil, you'll be sad that I botched my pit stop a little bit, but
Oh no, I caught it. Yeah. You left 3 seconds at the gas station wait a minute, you left 3 seconds at home when you went to the gas station for cigarettes.
I do have partially a reason for that. The car right in front of my pit stop, I couldn't see the red box, so I was just like kind of guessing. And then I had to get picked up and dropped again.
Well, yeah, but listen, you didn't get a penalty this time, right?
No.
Okay, 'cause
that's what I said to the guys. I was like, I'm taking the conservative approach to the pit line.
Well, I will tell you this: going forward, getting a penalty for speeding in the pit lane is now called pulling an Anderson. So
I'm pretty sure I'm not the
stick.
first person to do that.
It doesn't-
He's not the first person, and he's definitely not the most notorious for doing it.
Well,
But
for me, he is.
but we can definitely say that going in too hot at Laguna is definitely probably pulling an Anderson.
Pulling an Anderson.
Yeah.
I think we
I'll
can do
take that one.
All right, folks, we're gonna drop off. Phil, anything to close us out today?
I mean, this was a tough race for everybody involved. The one thing I will say is that definitely report those penalties, but give each other a little bit of grace, because it was tough. Night racing at Kyalami is tough. You have accidents at Cheetah, very hard not to create a situation that another car won't run into.
Yeah.
That said, the competitiveness in both splits was a lot of fun to watch, and there was some good close racing. There were some moments where people were leaving proper amount of space, were doing a little bit of rubbing. It was very exciting to watch, and the pace across the field was so good. I'm looking so forward to Valencia.
Yeah, I can't wait. Valencia, obviously the new track, the new DLC, not one that I have not even driven it. I really should. I should probably jump in and just turn some laps so I'm at least familiar with the track when we cast this next week. But Phil, again, thank you so much for being here and joining me. My partner in crime at this point, and the show's not the same without you. So we got to make sure we keep this going every week. And again, thank you for last week as well. 100%.
Oh, it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Looking forward to next week.
Can't wait for Valencia. New track, same drivers, new track. We're going to have a ton of fun at Valencia. Folks, don't forget, you can go to the Discord, ! in the chat to go to the Discord if you are not already a member. It's not too late to join Season 6 if you're a PC driver and want to get in there. And our Xbox League is in between seasons right now. They just finished out. They're going to do some mini seasonal events, some mixed class stuff, with the goal of waiting until PC Season 7 and lining those up so that we can do the same track. You know, Xbox runs on Saturdays, PC runs on Sundays, same track, 2 different leagues, and just make that all work out. So everyone, have yourselves a great week. Thank you again for being here. Don't forget to, coming up very, very soon, Box3's own Mr. Dylan Dunn fighting to knock out cancer. You're going to watch the video before we get out of here. Thanks again, folks, and we will talk to you very, very soon.
Hi, Dylan Dunn from Tiffin, Ohio, fighting out of fly kickbox and fighting for my grandfather. Support your fighters, make a difference, and donate today. Come watch us fight, June 14th at Mission Ballroom.